Hey guys, welcome to the last week's special podcast. Once again, I'm Austin, and we have Jed
Hi.
and Con,
Hi.
and welcome to
You stole my gig.
Our Christmas episode, which will be full of
Yay.
nothing but
Extra long
Christmas
Christmas.
stuff,
Actually, I would say probably expect more rambling.
Yeah, it will
like
be.
usual.
More rambling.
We're doing good. The Jed's wearing his Christmas shirt. I've got my Christmas slippers. Austin's
I'm
wearing
wearing a
Rudolph
DuckTales
underwear.
shirt.
That's not Christmassy.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I told you. It's gonna be more rambles.
Unless it's Scrooge's Christmas episode. Oi. Flop. He is Rudolph in his red nose.
Oh gosh.
Oh no.
Okay.
Make sure he doesn't spit at you like a camel. He might really like you.
Uh,
Like, oh, it's excited.
Ha! PG,
Okay.
PG. This is Christmas family episode. Stop that.
Well, speaking of CGI, did you see that trailer for what the heck's that movie called?
Alita.
Based on it. Yeah, yeah.
I know what
that.
you're talking about. I
Alita.
haven't.
Battle Angel.
I've
Yeah,
heard
yeah.
nothing that's Uncanny Valley is how everyone describes
Because
it.
it's like based off of an anime, so they like make her all big-eyed and everyone else is normal looking, and it's like
Yeah.
she's a robot. Yes, I can understand. You can make a robot look however you want, but still, it looks really weird.
I mean, I mentioned that to a friend, and he goes, "Yeah, but she's a robot." And I said, "There's another 3 or 4 robots in the
Yeah,
trailer.
yeah.
Their eyes
There's
are normal."
yeah. All the other robots look normal. They're human beings. It's like, why is she so
Yeah.
weird looking?
I'm going with the whole thing of them wanting to be authentic with the way she looked in the manga and anime because she looked different to everyone else. So,
Yeah.
it's I'm not I'd rather have her with normal eyes, but I can handle it. The rest of it looked awesome.
I mean, it looks interesting. I'm gonna go see it. It
I mean,
looks interesting.
they had parts from the actual original, like the part where he's coming down sideways down the trash mountain and finds her. That was like
Mhm.
seen exactly from it. And her
Yeah.
spinning before her arm breaks, which no one will know till they see it, but I know.
In my head, I know.
I'm just hoping that they finally release the old one in Blu-ray because they haven't
That'd
done
be
that.
cool. Yeah.
That was such a good film.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Do it.
I'm still getting through Robotech. I think I got about 4 more episodes, and then season 1's done.
How are you finding it?
Uh, it's entertaining, but it's so dated.
Whoa, yeah. You got to watch it as a dated thing, and then you'll enjoy it heaps.
Well, I mean, it's nostalgic for the fact that whenever you're watching the English version, so some scenes of animation needed to be extended a few seconds.
Yeah.
So there's this one scene where I guess they're talking to the leaders of the world, talking about like, hey, we were out in space, we were fighting the giants, and we just got back to Earth, and here's what was happening. So one of these guys at the table at this council, he had papers in his hand. And as he was talking, like, what you're talking about is completely unpredictable. We can't possibly counter something like that. And he throws his papers down. And then, like that, the papers are back in his hand. Like, anyway, we can't even begin to understand this concept. And then he throws them down again. So, like, they weren't even sly about it. They just literally say, this scene's got to last a couple more seconds or else
Well,
he
they.
can't cut off
I
the
mean, they
sentence.
also back then had to recycle a lot of animation. For
Yeah,
budget
there
reasons.
was 2 episodes alone that were just a montage of the first 5 episodes. The captain is
Oh,
doing
yeah,
the
yeah,
commentary and everything.
Clip
He's
shows.
like, so here's what's been happening. We have been invaded. Like, oh, okay, all right. So like,
Yeah.
like I guess they didn't have something for this week, and they're like, it's not from Japan yet. Like, what do we do? Make something.
Well, remember that thing was already out, I think, and they took it and then spliced it up and made their own sort of story and stuff. So what you're seeing, that double scene, probably doesn't happen in the original.
Mm,
I
yeah.
hope so. There was two, and then there was one where Rick, the kid, he was unconscious. He was in a coma, and so he was just reimagining all the previous episodes, but like in a different order. And so they were using like all old footage, and it was just being a filler episode. I'm like, this is a pointless one. I kind of just zoomed through that one because I'm like, there's nothing story wise happening here. Like maybe it was an excuse to show Mei Mei's butt again
Fuck.
because they made sure it got included there. Like she was in the shower once, and now like we need to use that again. So,
Bless their
like,
hearts.
they made a whole episode around just so they can use it. Trying to think what else, but I did like this though. I think it was pretty clever for the writers to show because they have those three spies that just got on the help me out with Con. What's the name of that giant mech ship that
As in,
the humans have?
oh, SDF-1.
SDF-1, thank you. So the name of those three giants, they shrunk to human size, and they're now spies on the was it SDF-1?
Mhm.
You said?
Yep.
I think it was really cool how they're so confused on why women change clothes so much.
I remember
'Cause-
that.
Yeah, because they live in a very military, anarchy, government lifestyle. So uniforms to them, that's just what you wear all the time.
Yeah.
And so when they see like women coming out of their uniforms, they went to their apartment and then they changed into evening wear. They're like, what kind of uniforms are those? I don't know. They must have been going to another meeting. They just changed uniforms again. And so they're just all confused why people are constantly changing. So they think you now have to change your clothes to have a uniform for every occasion. If you want to go to eat, you have to have a uniform to signify your rank at the table.
Mm.
So you would change your clothes for that. If you want to go to, they were like, let's go to this. Like they saw a nightclub. And like, what's that sound? It was the music. They're like, it must be some type of like propaganda, audio links to put in your brain. Like, you've got to change your uniform so they know what kind of propaganda to feed you. Like, oh yes, it makes sense now.
Was that the three guys that got shrunk and snuck on?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my memory's going back.
Yep. Like, I thought that was pretty funny because I'm like, it's such a childish way they're thinking, but in their head they're like, I bet that might be something somebody would be trying to figure out. So confused if our lifestyles was observed from an outside source that never seen it before.
Yeah.
Like, they sure change clothes a lot.
To be fair, certain cultures here would think the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's true.
You flush poo with clean water? Why?
What?
Why? Drinking water gone.
Well, in Japan, in my hotel, the toilet was a sink as well.
Yeah.
The tank's clean water, so it's just the top of it was a sink, and then it was just the toilet.
Basically, the
Sink
dirty
toilet
water
combo.
Wow.
from where you were washing your hands, that went into the tank.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they would just flush waste with
Right.
the water you used to clean your hands.
That's pretty
Which-
smart.
It saves water. It's better. But, some people would see it because they want toilets to be super clean. So they think, if you're putting dirty sink water into the tank, the toilet's not really clean.
Mind you, the dirty sink water is just soap water that you wash with your hands.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's all that ever goes down the sink.
Yeah. It's clever engineering, but, there's more people that...
Was it on top of the toilet, or was it like to the side and the pipes going to
No,
the
it's
toilet?
on the tank, on the back of this toilet tank.
Ugh.
Yep.
So
It
you
like
gotta...
fill, cause it's like you could drink out of a toilet tank if you want, cause that's like clean, drinkable water.
Yeah.
Once it's in the toilet
do.
itself, it's not really good.
I don't know, you have to straddle over the toilet just to wash your hands.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how that was. Did you have to straddle over? It was a tiny toilet, so maybe it wasn't that bad. I don't remember.
Now,
I should take a
maybe...
picture of it.
Maybe if the seat was arranged backwards, So then you would just sit on the toilet with your legs apart naturally, and then you could just wash your hands as you sat down.
Yeah, I think you just leaned over forward. You didn't have to like straddle or anything.
Now I know what Austin's talking about. Some newer campers have those type of toilets. So that instead of having a toilet and a sink, they put them on top. So it's a great way for saving space too.
Yeah.
It's just a little more
Yeah, because
awkward
it
than
really
what you
was a
might be
tiny
using.
toilet or bathroom,
Yeah.
so very
And-
good space saving.
You can clean your butt at the same time.
Right in the sink.
No,
Just get Oh, I see what you're saying. Just cup a thing of water, and
Yeah,
then
like-
with your hand, and then just
No.
reach back there, screw.
you can get like rolled up toilet paper, reach back, sink, and then wipe.
You could just get a flushable wipe, a little wet one. Get a wet one.
They also had one of the hotels had those like toilets with like a billion buttons on it.
Bidets.
It was so cold at that hotel because they like had all the windows open. I don't know why,
What?
but that toilet had a seat warmer on it. So every time I'd get up at night to go pee or whatever and sit on it, I'd be like, oh, it's like very warm seat. Had
Now
like
you
a
guys
warmer
know
on it.
Austin sits to pee.
Hey, when you get up at night, you're tired. I don't want to stand.
Especially if
Even when I'm up at night, I went, no, I'm still a man.
I don't know if that seat was warmed, you'd be sitting down too.
Yeah, it's really cold.
If
It
that
was like
seat was
so,
warm, I'd be
I
curled
don't
up
know
like
why
a
they
cat
had
on
all
top
the
of it.
windows open. It was so cold.
I'd be sitting on it
Maybe-
and just going to sleep.
Maybe they were cleaning and they needed the chemical smell out or something.
Well, the thing is, they didn't even have like screens on the windows, so there's like a bunch of crows inside the flipping hotel. Like, all right,
You sure this was a
Sounds like-
hotel? Not an abandoned
Yeah.
building?
Wasn't like, owned by the creators of Death Note or something.
Death Note.
I'd be getting out of there. Crows, that's my first sign. Like, nope, not doing it. I still want to go to Japan. I'm just not going to stay at that place.
Yeah.
It was all right. It had a flipping whatever you call it, a public bath where people could go in and just bath.
No.
Everybody. But that also had its own personal showers, which I did use.
Wait, this was
I'm not sure why a public bath would be
Well,
a pro.
Public baths are a big thing in Japan, actually. Like, it's like a thing.
Just not in the hotel.
Especially
I'd say
hot
that.
springs. Especially hot springs. Like, that's a big thing.
I mean, I figure hot springs, but I don't. The appeal, I guess, it's just lost on me. Like, hey,
public
we're getting-
baths, they're pretty large. Like, it's more like a. It's just more of a social thing. I don't get it, but
That's just-
it's just a thing they
Yeah.
do.
I'm like, let's just go play some Dance Test Revolution. You don't have to get naked. Sitting in the water.
Well, I
I'm
mean, they
peeing in this
also-
water.
That one was actually a unisex one, too. I was like, But
Oh.
I would.
It's like, how awkward is it gonna be?
But it's like
though,
there
to
were
have
no
a-
like attractive women there, so I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Sway, sway.
Hey,
Hey, baby.
it don't matter if they're pretty or not. One touch is your need. Now you can't get out of that water for at least 20 minutes.
He just walks in normal, sees a pretty girl, turns into Johnny Bravo. Leaps.
Hey,
Hey,
baby,
mama.
you smell kind of pretty.
I love him.
Man, there were so many attractive women there though. But it was always like on the public train you see them, and it's like the
You're like-
rule is in Japan you don't talk to people on the train. It's just like that's just the rule there. I was just
Well,
like, dang. I wish
You've
they'd talk
seen
to
all
me.
these beautiful women. Like, if only these "Don't molest the women" signs weren't hanging all over this train. I'd.
Well, they actually in Japan they have
Uh-oh.
women-only trains
Yep.
that women can choose to go on. Because
Oh.
groping is actually such a big deal there on
Yeah.
trains that they can
Uh,
choose to get on the women-only.
I've seen
train.
the signs, and you just like if something like that happened here, it'd be all over the national news. But it's so common in Japan.
Yeah, it's a yeah.
It's,
A bit of
I
an
never
epidemic.
saw it there when I was there.
Well, I never saw it happen, but I saw a lot of the women-only trains.
It's weird though. If you do something, everyone will, kind of lock on you. Like when my friend was, he accidentally took a photo, but he had the flash on, and people around him just started staring at him and moving
Yeah,
in
yeah,
front,
yeah.
so he couldn't take photos. So they all, there's protection.
Yeah, but it comes from shaming, so you gotta get that shaming part first.
On Twitch, people do like real life streaming and whatnot. There's a few people that were doing it in Japan,
Mm.
and they were on the flipping bus, and I was so pissed off because they were just talking and gabbing away, and everybody on the train was just staring at them. It's like,
Yep.
you don't talk on the freaking train. You don't use your phone on the train. It's
No,
all
you don't.
Like, oh, you mean like you could use your cell phone to yourself, but you wouldn't be on a conversation on your
Actually,
phone?
that's even like looked down upon to have your phone out and looking at it.
Huh.
Because I mean,
I
there's a
would-
lot of you can do a lot of like upskirt shot pictures and
Yeah.
crap.
Oh,
so
I
it's
see. So it's not necessarily because it's just a stigma related
Yeah,
to having that
it's-
phone out,
it's why
like
you
in a
see-
theater.
It's why you see
Okay.
people playing, with handheld games instead of phones.
yeah.
Okay. I got you. I
They
was saying
got-
like, well, if you're just playing Angry Birds, why is that a problem?
Mm.
But now it makes sense.
Yeah, they're very they got awesome rules there. Very polite, very thoughtful of everyone.
Yeah, they're extremely courteous and everything, but like there's a big depression issue there because of that very fact. Like you can't really express yourself in public or whatnot because it's just not the way it is.
Yeah, so I'm running on 4 gigs by the way of memory.
Cool. So's my laptop.
Your laptop is better than my PC. Guarantee it right now. This
Speaking
piece
of-
shit.
I saw you were getting all your parts in Austin. Did
Yeah,
you
I
get
just
all
need
that
the
installed?
RAM. RAM will come Tuesday.
Ah.
And then I can install it. Not
Mm.
looking forward to it. Gotta gut my freaking case out and reinstall all that.
Yeah, I was telling Jed this earlier. In the last year and a half, I've probably had 3, possibly 4 months maximum where my PC acted normal. That's sad,
Yeah.
which is why I'm doing a
We're
full
just-
upgrade now.
Hey, if you do an upgrade, you gonna go with M2 memory?
I'm thinking about it because since I'm getting them to put it together, because I've had enough. I'm not doing it anymore, and I'm getting a new case so they can put it together. I need to get Windows for them to actually put it together, otherwise it doesn't go into the deal thing. And the only option is Windows 10.
Now, what is M2? Jed asked me that earlier. I was like, I don't.
It's like
I
a million
think
times faster,
SSD, but it's like 10 times faster.
and it looks like
And
a
that's
memory stick.
RAM?
It looks
Yeah,
like
it's-
RAM.
Yeah, it looks like a tiny. You gotta get a motherboard that supports it,
Mm.
but you'll see motherboards that'll say like storage types, and most of them will say SATA, and then some will say
Right,
SATA
right.
and M2, so it's like M/2 or just M2.
So they have both options. Just look at a YouTube video of like M2 versus SSD in boot ups thing, and
Yeah.
it's like boom.
I seen one video. It was a couple years ago when M2 was hitting big in the market.
Hmm.
Somebody, I guess the motherboard allowed it, but you could bypass like all the splash screens that the BIOS would bring up. And so they disabled all that, and it was running on M2. So the camera was showing the monitor blank, and it would show the power button on the computer. They pressed it, they let go, and then when it went back to the monitor, it was in Windows.
Sheesh.
M2 just brought it immediately. So
M2 is
it's like
great.
it's pretty cool.
Expensive for the big ones.
Yes, it's like SSD prices.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're very similar.
extremely similar. So it's better off to go with the M2 just for the extra speed.
Yeah,
It's too good. Do you know how much my upgrade is going to cost me? And
$3
this-
grand.
just under $3,000. That's about probably maybe 2,300 for you. 200.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
know.
when I got his new PC, it cost him around 2,200.
This is without a video card, by the way.
Good lord.
Yeah, because
Yeah, that's crazy. That is
It's-
crazy.
I'm replacing everything. I know a lot of people would say, why can't you just keep certain things? I go, I can't. My motherboard is gone. I'm using my friend's motherboard right now. My memory, I think, is having issues. My hard drives I'm very sure about to die very soon. One might have an issue, I'm not sure. CPU, well, you got to replace that with the motherboard. Same with the RAM anyway, so I can't
And
keep
RAM,
those.
yeah.
My case is very old. The USB ports are screwy. None of them work as USB 3.
Yeah.
Sometimes
yeah.
they don't work, and there's been very, very, very few times where they've frozen my system. So I need to get rid of that as well. So I have to replace everything, which means I'm being hit hard with my Disney savings.
Yep.
So the thing
That's
is,
okay.
if I don't get extended January, Disney's not happening because my money's going to the computer. And they could say, don't spend money on the computer, leave it for Disney, and I'll be like, okay, that's good. That's another 8 months without a computer. And then what happens when I get
Yeah.
back? I won't have a computer anyway.
I mean, honestly, I would pick the computer over Disney because I know. Well, Disney would be great. That computer's gonna give you more enjoyment, more years.
Yeah, it's not just
than
gaming.
Your memories of Disney.
It's
yeah.
everything.
It's movies. It's the web.
Movies, gaming, shopping, paying bills, video editing, photo editing, which I
Facts.
like to do.
You don't say. I've never noticed.
I should sell like huge, like 20 by 16 versions of the one where I got Austin's head on a fat man. Put that on your wall,
Oh.
framed and everything, maybe even signed. Yeah. So if anyone wants to donate to my sad life, feel free.
Yeah, I put my brother's PC together on iBuyPower. Like, thing it has an SSD for the OS and then like a big overhaul drive for the games.
Mm.
A
That's-
1080 graphics card, 32 gigs of RAM,
Ugh. I'm only getting 16.
and this sucker was only $2,200 for 32 gigs of RAM. I must have got it at a good time because RAM is so expensive right now.
What brand was it?
I don't even remember.
Because I know brand and speed factors heaps into pricing.
True.
I mean, I can get 16 gig for like 160 or 70, but to get the good fast with good brand is like 300 or more. So
Yeah.
there's just big differences. And I'm hoping my 1060 that I was forced into getting in July does last me.
It should. It should last you a few years.
Easy.
Yeah.
My 560 was almost 6 years old. So, and to be fair, 1060 is all I need to run games at max.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing 4K. I don't need to.
Yeah.
I need a new monitor for that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry. 10-year-old monitor. It doesn't even do 1080. I've got a joke monitor. I'm too poor.
Oh man. You're
Mine's
gonna
not 1080 either.
You're gonna have this 3K computer with like a below 1080p
Oh,
monitor.
Yeah.
A CTR full inch
CRT.
monitor.
Well, I'm gonna wait until the HDR monitors come in and then see what they do to
Yeah.
the prices of the normal
Yeah.
monitors because I don't want a HDR
That's what
monitor.
I would have done, but my monitor died and I had
Yeah.
to get a new one.
I'm hoping mine doesn't die. It has issues where I like press the off button, to turn it off at night so I don't have that LED flashing.
Right.
It doesn't work sometimes. Like I click it, the screen
geez.
goes off, but it's still on. Then it comes back on a second later. I'm like, no, and I keep pressing it, which is funny because for the first 5 years or so that I had it, I never used that button. So why shouldn't it work perfectly?
Right.
Stupid. It's also a Samsung. Never again. Samsung's good, but no, I'm not doing it. That yellow tinge throws you off when it comes to photo editing. I hate it. Not many people see it. I was at Royce's house and he was trying to decide whether to get a Samsung TV 4K or a different brand. He was looking at the Sony. Both are good for this specific one. And he brought up a video and it had both of them side by side. And he goes, look at the comparison. And within 3 seconds, I go, that one's a Samsung. He goes, how do you know? And then the words popped up. I'm like, look, I can see the tinge, but he can't see it. People who don't see it, don't see it. Once you see it, it's there for life.
It's like a dead pixel. You might never notice until someone points it out. They're like, now it's all you can see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Point is, like, I wouldn't mind a newer monitor. Mine does fine and all, but like I was thinking, if I do a PC upgrade in like 2019 or something like that, I already have an idea what parts I want to get. But I know even if I put like $800 in processor, motherboard,
Mm.
M2s or SSDs, etc., I know I'm gonna want to put another $600 or $700 dedicated to just the graphics card because that's
Yeah.
just what they go for. If
Graphics
you
are really.
want
Yep.
And they,
a
I mean,
quick
right now
card.
they're ridiculous because of Bitcoin
Yeah.
miners.
Mm.
And like you'll hear all like Nvidia's releasing a new budget graphics card and it's supposed to match the higher end models of last year. Like, oh cool, and you go look at the price. Oh, they're still $450. Like,
Yep.
that's budget, I guess.
It's why you
Put
have to
that
wait.
quotation marks. Yeah, but it's like you don't want to wait too long because
No.
then all you're buying are
Yeah,
cards
because
that
then
aren't
you're buying an
supported
outdated
anymore.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like waiting, like, well, if you wait on an expensive cell phone, you can just get it when it's cheap. Like, oh, good. Guess what? The Galaxy S4 is finally cheap enough to own, and then, like, now you got an OS version of Android that's not supported by anybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's-
with a video
it's a
card, you
bad
can
circle.
actually get lucky with sales, unlike all the other parts. Like, they don't change much, the CPUs and all that. You have to wait for the new range to come out, and then you can start looking. Where the video cards, like my 1060, I got it on a special. It was like 260. It was like 100 off.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it, which is the reason why I went the 1060, even though I wanted a more stronger one. But in the long run, it's slightly overclocked because it's the MSI one, and it's 6 gig. So it's only like 5 frames under a 1070. It's fine.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. It's a really good card, especially for the price.
Yeah, so I'm good with that. The only thing you should be splurging on is a CPU, because that's the one
Yeah,
that's
because
gonna
that
last.
sucker, that's what will last you. Good
You'll
lord,
have-
I can't believe how long mine lasted me.
Yeah, you'll go through 2, maybe 3 video cards on the same CPU.
Yeah. Like, I've still got my i5. I think it's like the second generation i5.
Those i5s were really good value as well.
Oh, yeah.
If it wasn't for streaming, it'd still be perfect.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, if I wasn't streaming, my CPU would still be good.
Yeah,
Because I can run everything at max settings, well above 60 FPS. Every game, still modern, everything.
pisses
But when
me
I
off.
stream, holy crap, it kills my frame.
They
Yep.
just need to make a little streaming box. Gosh darn it, something for like $150. It handles all the streaming.
I was
Yeah,
gonna-
that would be nice, actually.
I was originally going to grab the 7600 CPU, the K version, so I could overclock that if I
Right.
needed to. That thing's cheap as and runs
It
everything
really
perfect.
is, yeah.
But it's not good for streaming. You have to go the step up, the 77. And when you're there, screw it, just spend a bit
Yeah.
extra, go the 87.
77's, yeah.
So it makes no sense up there. 76 is perfect for gaming for the long run. Long run. But streaming,
Yeah, it's true, because, I mean, even if you get a top-of-the-line CPU, your games wouldn't even utilize
no.
half the power of that thing.
Mm-mm. Well, that's what it, like when Intel announced that like 8-core i7. I have a buddy at work who has a PC. Like he plays games on his PC too. He's like, "Oh man, that's what I'm gonna get." Like, why? What are you possibly gonna purchase
Yeah.
that's gonna use that?
No game will use
Yeah.
that.
Do you know how much software I own on my computer that don't even use all the cores to the processor
I mean, games-
already own?
Like, even, like, the most modern games will use, like, 4 max. If
Yeah.
even that.
And I think even that is just because consoles are going to quad cores.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
a lot of the modern games, if consoles hadn't, then the ports of these modern games still wouldn't use this stuff. So it's like I have it, I know I do, and I guess it's good for when I'm compressing with Handbrake, but that's about all it really is.
You wouldn't even save that much time, to be fair. 2 to 5 minutes max.
Like even then, wouldn't Handbrake need to be like re-optimized to use it really properly?
Yeah, you would need like the newest version of it.
Yeah.
Like they would have to have that in their own shops. Like we need to reprogram this to recognize these cores, or else
Huh?
you just it's like oh all the work that has to go
Yeah,
into that
I
stuff.
was thinking this the other day. I wish that someone would come up with a driver or a program or something that would be able to utilize all cores on
Hmm.
all games, just like distribute it evenly
Mm.
across all the cores, so it just ran like optimally.
Tell Nvidia get with it. Well, think I don't think any of you guys played. Con might have played it a little bit, but Supreme Commander,
Mm.
the RTS.
Yeah, I
Oh.
never
When it
played
came out,
That needs cores.
it was super nice because it was like here's your battlefield on a normal RTS, and it was like the size of a soda can on your desk, and then like now here's our battle map, and it's the entire desk. So you'd be fighting literally on continents size battlefields with hundreds and thousands even
Right.
of units on screen, and this was back when Intel was just making those core 2 duels, and that's
Yeah.
what this game was supporting. And then it started going to quad cores, and everyone's like, man, get the quad cores. This game is going to be super buttery smooth. And they were finding out it was making no difference
Mm.
because the game itself wasn't optimized to even recognize these type of cores.
Right.
So it was doing nothing but just going back to, it was underclocking itself to match whatever CPU it did recognize. So it was like I could play it now, and I'm not going to get any better frames than what I would on my original computer
Yeah,
because the game's just
the
not.
game needs to be able to utilize it. If it
Mm.
doesn't, then it doesn't matter.
So it's like, well, still, I wish somebody would go in and rewrite that engine because that's a fantastic
Mm.
game,
Yeah.
fantastic.
I mean, most Source games still only utilize 2 cores because
Mhm.
Half-Life 2 was originally around when the Core 2s were around. If you play Gary's mod, it like runs like absolute garbage because it's only using 2 of your cores.
But like you can't help that stuff. The engine would have to be totally redone.
Yeah.
Utilize the cores, utilize proper shaders again. Like graphics cards contain more RAM than computers
I know.
contained on their own motherboards back then.
That's what the Nvidia's been like. They're saying they're making these bold claims that GPUs will be the all you need eventually. You won't even need a CPU.
Intel says the same thing.
Yeah,
Intel's
they-
like,
yeah.
you won't even need a graphics card. Our processor's going to
Yeah.
handle all of that.
They've been saying that for like the last 15 years.
Yeah, they really have.
all
They
the
keep
way
betting
back.
on it.
Do you remember way back in the 90s? This is when they started saying that shit. You had the CPU, but then you also had a dedicated 2D video card and a 3D video card. You had to have both because
Right.
back then there wasn't any. And
Right,
then
right.
slowly they started to merge them together, and then they started saying soon we're only going to need a video card or we're only going to need a CPU. Like, yeah, well, maybe for small things, but not for gaming. I
Well,
had
if
that
I had
combo.
a PlayStation emulator, maybe. But
Putting computers together back then was more annoying. You had to do so much
Oh,
more
I'll
research. Which 2D card works the best with most things? Because certain 2D cards wouldn't work with certain games. Same with the video cards back then.
back then, even if you wanted great sound, you had to get sound cards.
Right.
Creative.
Who
Yeah.
even makes sound
Yep.
cards now? Yeah. Creative was
Sound
like
Blaster.
the monopoly of them back then. Like now you don't even bother. It's like everyone's got either their sound coming through USB or their motherboard's got a perfectly fine,
Yeah, HD audio, Realtek.
yeah, right out of it.
The Realtechs have gotten good
Ugh.
though.
Yeah, they really have.
Once upon a time, Spit, Creative Sound Blaster. But
Sound Blaster.
all I know is things got much easier at one stage when you could just SLI 2 Voodoo 2s, and that was it. I guarantee you, they could run Crysis full detail.
What
It's so
can it run
weird how
prices?
SLIing is like useless still to this day. Like people do it like crazy,
Oh,
and like there's
yeah.
like 2 games out there that will utilize SLI.
Yeah.
Most of the time,
Well, you
SLI
always-
will make your games run worse.
It's true.
Well, you know you always see it on those enthusiast forums where someone will have like 4 graphics cards
Yeah,
in there,
yeah.
and they're all Titans and stuff. Like, what are you doing? What?
It's like that doesn't actually, it doesn't work that way. You're not getting like the maximum.
Are you happy that
You're
you're
wasting
playing
your money there.
Battlefield 1 and getting 90 frames?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that what you bought that whole setup for? Just dumb stuff like that. Like when I thought you could do SLI, I just assumed that everybody was on board. Like all the games would be optimized to
Right.
use this in some way. And then you start reading into it, and people are like, actually, I get a bug, or my game won't launch, or like, I'm not getting a performance boost. Or like, I got 10 extra frames. I'm like, that don't sound worth it at
Yeah.
all.
$3,000 more.
It's just be better to put that money instead of buying 2 cards, just get the combined income and putting it to the card that's actually twice as powerful.
Yeah.
Mm.
That was
Yeah, I always left room to be able to do SLA in the future. Buy a cheaper version of my current card that I got expensive
Mhm.
years ago. Never ended up doing it because it is mostly pointless.
Yeah, it really is.
Yep. Yep.
There's
yep.
like
People, there'll be
some
some who will
games out
argue,
there
but
that would even utilize it, and it wouldn't even like. And it doesn't. It's not like you double your power either. It's just like a little boost, and that's it.
yeah,
It's like they're sharing the same load.
it's like an extra
Yeah.
15 frames or
So instead of
something.
one card working 90%, they're like, I'll do 60, you do 40. I'm like, all right, worth it.
Worth it. Spit.
Just dumb. Spit.
So, whole bunch of new things were announced TV-wise. I want to tell you one show that I'm looking forward to. Maybe you haven't heard of it, which is why I'm going to mention it because I need you to hear about it.
Okay.
Netflix is actually doing it. Surprising. It's called Altered Carbon.
Never heard of it.
See, now I have educated you. Go watch a video. It's a TV
No.
series. Where are you gone?
I'm putting Ginger to bed.
He's like, I gotta tell you about this great TV series. Austin's like, this is my chance. I'm out of here. Just gotta put this.
Like, yeah, yeah, TV. What? Don't you hear a
It's
door
like,
shut?
just put your
My baby needs to
Pee.
sleep.
peeing in the background. I'm listening.
Could have saved those Blu-rays from being shitted on again. Yeah, so it's called Altered Carbon. TV series, very Blade Runner-esque. Watch a video. It looks unreal. I want it so much.
Oh, that freaking Will Smith show
What?
series on Netflix.
Will Smith. What's it called?
No, it's like he's like a. It is like crazy the premise of this, and it comes out I think this month. Will Smith, he's a cop. His partner is like it's like a fantasy setting, like a New York with like elves
I know what you're
and
talking
dwarves
about.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And his like
Yeah.
partner is like this like I can't remember the race,
Oh, I think I heard this.
but
one.
like they find like a fairy that can grant wishes, and it's like fairies are a legend, and they're like not even supposed to be real, and everybody wants the fairy, and so he's like trying to protect it, and like that's what the series is about, or something like that.
just
It's
make
just
a.
it's like it's so weird
just
because
have
it's like modern day New York with like elves and dwarves and stuff.
There was a show in the 90s with the same premise. Like aliens came to Earth to colonize, and they were humanoid. And the show was about a New York cop working with his alien partner.
Well,
And,
that might be what it's based
I remember that
on.
one.
You remember that? Yeah,
Yeah,
because the
yeah.
aliens had like those little dots on the side of their heads, but they had no hair and
Mm.
just stuff like that. That's like exactly
Oh,
what
I
it is.
remember
but
that actually.
Yeah, like that's when I hear that, that's exactly what I think about. But I'm trying to think from an executive perspective. Somebody's like, I got a great idea for a show. I'm like, I'm very interested in hearing it. Like, all right, but first, I want you to smoke some weed. So they bring it
Well,
out on
here's
the
the
table.
thing.
Like,
The thing
all right.
is anybody in the world can write a book. It's like anybody.
Mm.
And so all these
Yes.
crazy ideas are like 90% all from books. And I guarantee this is from a book
Yeah.
someone wrote.
Stolen for sure.
It just seems so bizarre. The thing, like, yeah, that only sounds like we need to put a few $1 million into it. Lots of makeup, obviously, would have to go into it. Let's give it a shot. Like, wow, really?
Yeah, and it's all practical too. Like crazy like makeup
Just-
work.
Yeah. Oh.
Speaking of, freaking Dark Crystal Netflix series. When's that happening? That's
Oh.
supposed to be a thing.
I need it. I need it in my life.
No.
I'd be really interested in seeing what that turns out to be.
I need to rewatch the original again.
When you said Will Smith, I thought you was going to mention his son's Netflix anime,
Oh
the
my
Jaden
Oh,
Smith
what?
anime.
That is the worst thing I've ever seen.
I have not
Dude.
heard of this.
Oh,
do it.
please look it up. Do it
Don't.
right now.
Don't.
I don't know the name of it, but
It's
everyone
so
says
shit.
Jaden Smith. He gets on Twitter and he just says the weirdest.
Well, I know
off-the-wall
all
stuff.
of his Twitter crap.
Yeah,
I know
they
his.
said now if you took all of that and made it into a show, this is what it would be.
They say
It's got
that,
s-
but it's not.
Ugh.
It's just them stealing ideas and making it slightly stupider, as well as adding a bunch load of like social things in there.
Well, like there's a lot of political correctness, so it's
Heaps.
trying to address issues that are happening in present day, and like let's do it with
Yeah.
our personality,
I
with
don't-
our humor. And
I don't want that shit in
But-
my TV
so
series.
it's like it's trying to be real, but it's like it's not doing the characters justice at all.
It's dumb.
It's just it's so weird. I've only
I
read the
mean,
reviews. I never watched
James
it.
Smith's an awful actor to begin with. I can't
Yeah.
even imagine it.
Just I don't get it. Somebody at Netflix thought it was a great idea.
Only because it's being
Well-
produced by Will Smith. I'm sure of it.
Probably.
Oh, I'm sure Will Smith put some money into it.
Yeah, pushing his kid on everything.
Desperate to get his desperate. Oh,
What was that movie even? I've never seen it, but I've seen the
After Earth.
nostalgia critic review of it. It looks pretty bad.
I think it was called After
Yes.
Earth, wasn't it, or something?
It is.
It sounds
no,
familiar.
It was.
Yeah.
I remember it winning some Razzies or something.
I watched it. I did watch it. Months, a year later after it came out, I just grabbed a copy. I was like, you know what? It's sci-fi. I love sci-fi. Maybe I can get something out of it. No. I couldn't. It's like, maybe he's not that shit an actor. Oh, actually, he's not that good. I was trying to be positive all through it. Rubbish.
Yeah, that kid can act.
Rubbish film. There's like one scene where he looks like he's acting fine, but then like, okay, so, 10 seconds here versus entire film. No, he can't act. Stop. Just stop. Even Smith was horrible.
I remember.
In it.
Because he's like supposed to
Well,
be
the-
emotionless in that movie, like not have emotions. So he's like,
Mm.
duh. Like when
It's
you
like, let's have
when
a-
you have no emotion, it's like that's
what everybody wants to go watch, right?
Yeah.
Somebody not portraying
Zero
any
acting.
emotion. You should just have a mannequin on wheels and they shake it when it's talking, and that would have been the whole. Would have saved you millions of dollars in paying Will Smith to act like that.
Yeah, just a Jim Henson puppet.
That
Done.
was it was like Emma Shyamalan. Was that who did that After Earth?
No, I don't
Yeah.
think it was a Shyamalan. Was it? Was
I
it
think
Shyamalan?
it was. Yeah.
Well, no wonder it
I think it
sucked.
was because I remember, of course, every time his movie comes out, he's the Sonic of Hedgehog in films.
Mm.
Every time one of his movies are going to come out, like this is it. This is where it's going to start getting good again. This is the return.
It's just
And then it comes out. There was this problem and this problem. The next one though, this is going to be
This
it.
is it.
it finally did happen though. Flipping what was it, Split?
I ain't seen that yet.
I haven't seen.
I love that movie.
Hmm.
Like that, I hate Shyamalan movies, but that was a great freaking movie.
I
Yeah.
guess you 1 out of 50, you're going to get something.
Well, the thing is
right?
my favorite Shyamalan movie is Unbreakable, and it ties in with that movie at the end
Oh,
of that.
cool.
So I'm like, oh, like I just loved it.
I like Sixth Sense the most. Love that film.
I've only seen Sixth Sense. All the
Six,
others.
you know what?
just watched
I like
Nostalgia Cricket.
Sixth Sense is a really
Cricket.
good movie. I like it, but
First
Yeah.
time you watch
Unbreakable
it,
is
it
my favorite.
destroys everything.
Well,
Yeah,
I heard everyone hyping
what?
Signs. I think
Signs was
oh,
good.
Signs.
he did that one.
I-
Well, everyone was
I-
hyping
yeah.
it, and I remember I was reading a People's magazine, and they were going like Shyamalan, the next
Spielberg,
Spielberg.
oh yeah Spielberg, thank you.
Hitchcock or something.
And so like, I was like, oh wow, this guy must be really good. You know, it's like they were talking about his movie. I go see it, and I'm like, water, really? And like, the aliens are like, this planet's full of lava. Well, but don't wear anything. Just go naked. You'll be alright.
Yeah.
So the water's lava. Really? That
Have
was
you
the
seen the-
twist?
Have you seen the Nostalgia Critic review of that one?
Nah.
Pretty good.
Oh, maybe.
I don't think I have.
I might have.
Well,
It's a dumb
I
twist.
saw that.
But I mean,
It was a horrible twist.
the thing is, all the way up until the very end, the movie is really good. So that's why I give it a pass.
Yeah, that's just it. It had a good spook feel. Like the dogs were going crazy. You could hear the chatter on the kids' radio. You're like, this is getting weird. Like, I like it. And then this water wheelie.
Yeah, they are invading a planet that's 90% water.
Like, it
And that's their
rains
weakness.
things that will kill them. If you went to Mercury and like, it's raining razor blades. Why did we come here without any clothes on? I just don't know. It felt like a good idea for this movie.
Well, maybe they invaded during the period where, you know, it's a dry season and there's no rain. They're like, yes, we're safe. We can colonize and then build our air bubble cities.
Like, crap, they got water coming out of their houses. Who knew this? Did you know this? No. No one told us they could portable this water.
They could be just really dumb aliens.
I don't understand space travel. I thought you had to have some understanding. Unless we found out, like, in the very end, it did a
Well, it's
real,
just like,
real twist.
That's actually pretty similar to War of the Worlds. Like, these aliens just come down and, like, without any protection, drink our water and everything.
Yeah.
And they catch the flu or
It's
the cold.
Well,
and it's like, "Brr."
World of the Worlds, though, was written at such an early time
That's true.
in
It was written
sci-fi
very far
that
back.
that was a very interesting concept. Like, wow, you know, you'd have an intelligent race, but something that people weren't even thinking about in that time, a biological warfare.
Right.
Because the First World War was just happening, we were finding out what horrible things biological warfare can do, and like then aliens were catching a simple germ, something that like a chicken pox. Like, oh, you get chicken pox, you get itchy. These guys get chicken pox. It's the death plague to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't make sense to remake it in this era because our standard for an alien intelligence is much
Yeah,
higher.
that's true.
So that's why those kind of remakes fall so
That's what
flat.
kind of pissed me off. I don't want to get into it, but the
I
new
al-
Alien movie. Ugh.
The new one.
Let's go out of our spaceships without any protection. Herba-derba-der. Oh, I inhaled some dust. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Look at
they've-
this eggs.
the thing is, in that timeline, the movie series, they would have landed on multiple planets by then, and nothing would have happened. So this
You know,
weird,
that's true.
this
I'll give you
weird thing
that.
they'd never come across ever. They wouldn't expect to come across because they never thought about it coming across.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
All they do is test for the air. Is the air fine? Yep, good. Helmet off. Works in Star Trek, Star Wars, all of them.
All right, no, I'm gonna pause you on Star Trek. I liked watching Next Generation. I did, especially when it was just coming out in the the early '90s, etc. But that holodeck,
Ugh.
why every episode they have that holodeck, it keeps malfunctioning to the point that lives are at stake, and then the next week they're like, let's go on the holodeck. Man, it almost killed Picard though. Like, nothing's gonna happen this time.
It's
They go in.
fixed.
Like, we're stuck in the 1930s. Oh, like, how can we not fix? That thing should have been taped off. Do not cross. No one can use it. Obviously,
Yep.
ejected in space. We don't know what's going on.
Don't worry, Data's Sherlock will save the day.
And then you find out they tell the computer, hey, make an opponent that would stump Data. And then now they do, and they're like, oh, it's taking over the ship. Like, how do we?
Yeah. There's a lot of things that could have been avoided in that series.
Yeah.
Like, it's sitting there like, I like sometimes the intelligence of the show because the writing is the intelligent part, but then you see these dumb things. Like, I know it's TV, they just gotta make it fun, but I'm still like that holodeck annoys me so bad. That should just get rid of it. And I'm so proud of Futurama because they make a joke at its expense. Because on Zap Brannigan's ship, they have a holodeck, and they make that exact joke, oh, let's go on the holodeck. Like, well, it's not functioning yesterday. Somebody died, but it should be fine today.
Fine.
So they go in it, and then you see them running out as they're being chased by, um, like some knights and stuff on horses, just like killing people. Like, who would have thought it?
Mm. Speaking of that new Star Trek series that's playing at the moment, I have so many issues with that. It makes me rage. That has a holodeck as well. Meanwhile, it wasn't invented during Kirk time.
Yeah, I thought the Next Generation was because that was the Will, wasn't it?
Yeah, on
That
that
was the
planet,
boy.
he brought it back from a marriage or something. I can't remember. It's so long ago.
Yeah, like he was excited because like we were the first ship to ever have a holodeck, and it's like, what? You got one of those?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. People rewrite their timelines all the time.
It's not just
I'm
rewritten,
sure-
it's broken.
I know your guys' answers, but how you guys feeling about that rumor of Tarantino doing a Star
Furious.
Trek movie?
Absolutely
It
furious.
would
And
be
I'm not,
so bad.
I like Star Trek. I don't class myself as a Trekkie because I'm not hardcore. I just enjoy it because it's sci-fi. But that pisses me off so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even like
I don't-
Tarantino, to be fair.
I like one movie that he's done, like maybe two.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a big fan.
He's one of those people that he's got this cult following, and then when you listen to any of these people talk, they praise him
Yeah.
like a god. And then I watched Kill Bill.
I hate that film. Sorry.
And I'm like, everybody loves this director. And I'm like, what is Kill Bill? Like, well, it's a kung fu movie or something. I'm like, well, I like kung fu movies. All right, let's try it. And I'm watching, like, the effects are bad. These characters annoy me. And the pacing is weird. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
like-
getting into this.
There's like a one scene in that movie that's good, and then the rest is just like snore.
Carradine
I
is
was just-
story man. That's what his name should have been called. He gets on, talks for 10 minutes pointlessly, and then something happens. And he does it all the time. All
I
through
just
it.
know after I was done watching it, I looked at my lap. I'm like, I want my 2 hours back. I literally felt like I lost something.
I thought it was
I
a
never
trilogy.
saw the sequel.
Every time I think back, I think it's a trilogy, and there's only 2 movies. And I sit there thinking hard. No, I'm sure it was 3 films. It felt like it.
It's actually was one movie, and they had to split it into two because of how long it was.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
You know what? It's funny. Tarantino reminds me a lot like Kojima, actually, when you think about it. Hideo Kojima. Like,
I hate them both
'Cause
equally,
it-
so yeah.
they're so weird. Like both of them do their own weird thing.
Mm.
I think Kojima's overly praised to
Yes.
high heaven. Like he really like there was a new trailer for his quote game because there's been no gameplay yet. It's all just
I forced
cinematic
myself
crap.
to watch that yesterday, and all I saw
And I'm
was
just like, everybody just like loves him so much. And it's like, I mean, I love Metal Gear Solid games, but he's I don't know. I'm kind of sick of his shtick. I guess you could say I'm just kind of sick of his shtick.
Yeah, I'm over it. I got to Metal Gear 4, thought that was awesome, but I didn't do the rest. I don't want to. And the fact that he's
5,
not,
I hated 5.
I'm ignoring it. He kept going on for a decade saying he wants to make Zone of Enders 3. Never did. Kept doing Metal Gear Solid. I kept giving excuses on why he did this. That's all they are, excuses. So I hate him because I love Zone of Enders 2
Yeah.
beyond love, and he would not make a third. So screw him. Hope he dies. Not really, but I hope he dies. But not really.
Well,
But-
I mean, he will eventually. I hope you're proud.
On
of yourself.
the Tarantino thing, if you haven't seen oh gosh, I don't even remember what it's called. The Django Unchained.
Not
That
yet.
is like my favorite Tarantino movie ever.
Yeah.
Like I don't like Tarantino, but that is a great movie. That is an actually good movie.
I want to see it just for DiCaprio.
Yeah, DiCaprio's amazing in that
Love
movie.
him.
Holy crap!
Love him. One of the few actors who really deserves more praise. What the hell?
You know, honestly, I would say so. I was not a fan of his, mostly because the first time I saw him on the big screen was when Titanic was coming out.
Most people.
I
And
mean,
that
that
was
was
when I
his. That was his big. That was his
Yeah,
like
so
first role.
I was in junior high at that time, so of course that's all every girl ever talked about. So we
Yeah.
were just getting sick of hearing it.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
sick of hearing like, oh, I got his poster. They're getting their teen magazines, and he's all on the cover. And
No, it was
like, I'm
Romeo
just
and
getting
Juliet before it or after that?
I think it was after. I could be wrong though.
yeah, I'm not sure. I never followed him, and then he just made the big screen, of course. And then I couldn't avoid him. I couldn't get it away. So I didn't care anything about him at the time. And then of course Britney Spears came, and we had our revenge then, because Britney's all doing her Pepsi advertisements with "Baby Hit Me Again," and we're like, yeah,
Yeah!
and the girls are all
Yeah!
crossing their arms like, yeah.
Sexist, like, fuck you!
Yeah, I didn't like DiCaprio at first either because of his pretty boy.
Yeah.
But my lord, that guy's a good actor.
He
He is.
Did you ever watch Beach?
No.
Everyone trashed that, but I watched it. He's unreal in it.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
It's a very
Inception's
good
still
film.
my favorite part, or my favorite movie of his.
Good film.
I need to watch that again. I've only seen it once.
Mm.
And
I
Sears.
really liked. I wasn't expecting that much. I'm like, how are they getting each other's dreams? What's that machine supposed to like? How's that even work? But then if you ignore that,
Yeah, yeah.
the effects and everything else, how deep it goes in the twists, those are really cool. Really cool.
Yeah.
Good film.
It was.
I'm unsure why
was-
I don't own it.
I don't buy a lot of movies. I'm just not a movie person, but I did buy that one.
I will
just
buy-
want this.
If I know I'm going to watch it like 2-3 times, maybe more, I'll buy it. And it's not that
Yeah.
many films. I say as I look at my huge amount of collection. Fuck it.
Still in their shrink wrap.
No.
To be watched.
I unpacked a few over the last few weeks, thank you. Like, for example,
You know, did
Galaxy
you watch
Quest?
what you unpacked it or did you watch it?
watched it. That's why I unpacked it.
I don't know. I think maybe you just like, I'll take the
I
shrink
did-
wrap off, and
I-
then they can't hassle me.
I did Galaxy Quest 2 weeks ago. I love that film. And then just the other week I did the Fly series. I unpacked that. So I watched the original 3 old ones from the 60s.
Right.
So good. Now I have to watch the 2 remakes. I've seen the first
You
one.
know, speaking back to the Django Unchained and DiCaprio,
Uh-huh.
there's a scene in that movie where Leonardo, he slams his hand down on the table and he accidentally like breaks glass
Oh.
Oh,
and it
he
cuts his hand
right?
wide
Yeah.
open and he just keeps the scene going and stays in character
He rules.
and then like wipes his like bloody hand over this lady's face and wipes his blood all over her
What?
face to like emphasize the scene, and they kept it in the movie and it is such a good scene.
Wouldn't she
Like he just
freak out?
cuts his hand right open and he just keeps going and going with the character.
I mean, like something like
And
that
he like
would need stitches.
he like smears his freaking bloody hand all over the lady's face. He's like, like I'll just, and it is such a good scene.
I don't
It is
know.
such a good scene.
If someone smeared blood on my face, I would lose it.
You know what, Con? You need to calm down because I'm sure there are millions of women that would just love his blood
It's
anywhere
true.
on them.
I love when actors do that though. Like freaking Vigo from Lord of
He
the Rings
rules.
breaks his toe, and he
Mhm.
keeps the scene going. Like when he
Yep.
kicks that helmet,
Breaks
Yeah.
his toe.
breaks
on
his
that.
toe, and he just
That's
like,
real
keeps
anguish.
the scene going. Yeah. Oh.
Vigo owns.
Yeah, that's just to show that how professional they are.
Yeah.
They're professional and they're serious about their work, and you can appreciate it. And it shows on scene or on
Yep.
screen, I should say. And that's why Justin Bieber would never be an actor. Him and Lindsay Lohan just OD somewhere, and I'd be perfectly happy.
I just watched a freaking video on like tragic movie stars.
Hmm.
I don't know why it hits me, but the fall of Lindsay Lohan depresses me so much because
Not
she was
me.
such a bubbly, cute little kid.
Yeah,
And then just
Well, that's what
oh,
happens
I
when
hate
you
it.
go into whore mode.
I hate
Well, you know,
He used
it's
to be
also-
such a huge crush too. As she was my waifu for a while, and then it's like, oh.
I never got that. Everyone loved her. Her and Hannah Montana. I don't see it.
Mm-hmm. I know who you're talking
Oh,
about.
I never got Hannah Montana either.
Victoria
Only thing
Justice
unless-
owns her.
I would see her because she was gaining popularity thanks to Disney. So like when I would be working in electronics, I would see like I'd be stocking her DVDs and stuff, but I never seen any of the movies.
Yeah.
And then Catherine had one of them playing, and so she was on screen. She's got a man's voice. I had to stop and pause. I'm like, what is that? And I'm looking, it's that little girl singing. I'm like, she's smoking at like 11? What happened to her? I'm like, the voice does not fit the face. You would never believe. She just gets up there deeper than me. I'm just like, oh. Like, I think something's going on here. I don't think you are who you say you are. Just always did.
Sound
No,
like
I'm
a-
not a fan of hers either.
No, I never liked her.
But you know what, though? Unfortunately, she's probably more popular now, making at least more money now
Oh yeah,
than she's ever had. It just kind of shows if you want to be a success in the industry,
be a hoe.
what you have to do. You're gonna have to twerk it on stage in front of everybody. You're gonna have to just be a disappointment to your dad every day. It's
To be
just,
fair, the amount of money she makes, he's not disappointed.
no, that just goes. I think it's more of a testimony to the dangers of being a childhood star. Because
Oh,
you
yeah.
see so many of these kids kind of go like you'll see those articles. Whatever happened to this kid?
Yeah,
You know,
Right.
and you find out, oh, he had to go to rehab, 4 or 5 times
Yeah,
for
man.
this, and
Freaking being famous as a kid just could destroy you mentally.
It
oh
can.
yeah,
It just makes you feel like you're like like you're the biggest thing in the world and you need the attention and blah 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 and you should get everything you want. Just destroys your whole like
Oh,
morality.
I think that shows more than ever with the invention of Twitter. How many
Ugh.
Hollywood stars feel that they need to start posting about stuff? Like, oh, there was they were ripping on the Kardashian chick. What's her name?
Kim
Kim,
Kardashian.
Kim.
I
Yeah.
don't know anything
The
about
main
him other
one?
than
Well,
the name.
Yeah, Kim Kardashian. They were ripping on her because there was a shooting at a concert a few years ago, and of course at that time you have to break the glass for Twitter, and so in an emergency, you break glass in case of emergency. For Twitter, it's prayers and thoughts. So you break and you just post prayers and thoughts.
Mm.
Her version of prayers and thoughts was like, it was the caption like, we're really sorry about what happened. That kind of thing should never be. And then it's a selfie of her.
Yeah.
So everyone's ripping her like, all you're doing is using this event to like, hey, something real bad happened, but don't forget how pretty I am.
Yeah, yeah.
That kind of thing. You're using tragedies to make attention to yourself. If you want to say something, say it. But don't say like, hey, this is what I need to say, but look at me.
There
Give
are-
me those likes.
I mean, they are a
Yeah.
loathsome group, but it somehow makes money for them, so they're going to keep doing it. We'd all
Oh,
do the exact
absolutely.
same thing.
Eventually,
and their fan
if you
base love it because they're that sort of
Oh,
mentality.
millions, and that's their every day. They're like, what do I need to post today to get into the next news
Gosh,
article?
that just reminds
or-
me of the big YouTube guy now. What's his name? Jake Paul. You guys hear of this dude?
No.
No, I haven't.
He's like the big YouTuber. He's like the new PewDiePie essentially.
How?
And he doesn't play games, but I don't get it. Like I saw a video yesterday of like just this swarm of like 10-year-olds. Like just a sea of them crowding around just to see him. Like saying it's the best day of their life because they get to see him, and he's like this douchebag, like through and through, like the worst human being you can imagine. Like just watch any of his videos and you're like, this is a terrible human being. And he's like the biggest YouTuber right now. And he's just got like this huge fan base of like, and they're all like 10 to 12-year-old kids, and it's just, what is this? What is this?
Just makes
the
you
future?
wonder. All the douches seem to be, rewarded.
Yeah.
Why am I nice? I'm getting tired of it.
Well, nice guys finish last. There's a reason that saying's been around even before YouTube or Twitter or
Yep.
anything.
It's very
Yeah.
true.
That's just society. I don't know why they're popular, but if it's your character, fine, I understand. It's like watching Angry Video Game Nerd. You know, I assume that he's not that way all
No.
day
Yeah.
to his family, to his friends, to his fans, because you'll see him talking, and he's talking normal, smiling, laughing. He's just putting on a show. But when you're legitimately a horrible person, and people love you for it,
Mm.
then we just need a very specific plague that just takes out these groups of
Yeah.
people.
If only.
Death
And so-
Note.
yeah. Oh, that's why I can't trust any of you with the Death Note. I think I could make some sound decisions. But
I
I would
would make-
misspell some names. That's just gonna happen.
Yeah, you'd misspell the names. You'd be like, "Oh, I have the Death Note," and you're like, "Why isn't anyone dying? No one I've written down is dead."
Like,
You're like-
oh,
How do you
I
spell that again?
I didn't put that little E right there. That was a silent. Oh well. Sorry, whoever you were.
What
That's
happens when
actually-
you can you use names like country names? You'd like write down Europe and suddenly Europe would all just flop dead.
Yeah.
You didn't let me finish. I meant Europa. Ah,
Scrub, rub.
ah.
People rising from the dead. What the hell?
I just created the apocalypse.
I would love a Death Note. I would use it so well.
I'd write I'd write me and then find out that's a name in some foreign land I didn't know. 1,000 of them die. I'm like, oh, I'm terrible at this. I would need instead of a Death Note, could I just have a Death book? Like, volume 1, then volume 2, and volume 3.
Encyclopedia version.
I need a series, is what I'm saying.
You got like 5 rooms filled with books.
I'm like, Jed, what's this? It's like, I'm making a list. I'm checking it twice.
Suddenly the world
I'd
is
be-
so peaceful.
I'd be the Death Santa.
Nobody wants to act like a douche or do something bad for fear of dropping dead. I'm telling you, best world.
Speaking of Death Note and Netflix, have any of you got to see the Death Note
It's
Netflix?
shit. I can't watch it.
Oh,
Series?
I am
I've-
not watching. I've heard
I've
so many
only-
bad things.
I've only seen a couple of, like Watch Mojo did a thing
Right,
on
right.
it.
Yeah, I saw that.
And-
Yeah.
And like, I never watched it. I knew the moment I saw the outcry because the main it was being casted with white actors and actresses, and of course that's controversial in itself because they're not being loyal to the source material. I'm like, I understand that, but I understand too if it's going to be filmed in America and they're going to change the setting.
To
Yeah,
America.
it's
They're
just yeah.
They're going to have to try and change it to fit the demographic that they think would watch it.
Yep.
Like that makes sense. You're not gonna see an American series get
No.
adopted in Japan and find whites, performing
Yeah.
the cast. So but I don't care either way. It doesn't interest me. But then I'm just seeing all the reviews and like people who on both sides of the fence were just coming to agreement. It's terrible.
Mm.
they're
Yeah,
trying
it's just
so hard to
bad
rewrite
script,
it,
yeah.
and it's like
I can't remember his name.
Right.
I don't know why. But he's the one. He squats there, and he's got like the face mask, and he's trying to track him down. But in the anime, he's like soft spoken, very da-da. In this one, he's yelling, raging,
Yeah,
angry,
they just
running.
changed. They just changed everything essentially. Like they didn't stay faithful at all.
It was
to
dumb.
any of the
like how I
plot.
heard it was described is that they were just making Final Destination for
Yeah.
horny teenagers. That was pretty much like, yeah,
Yeah.
all right. That's another thing. Like, Netflix is putting all those millions of dollars. I think I would be like watching my projects a little bit closer, listening to the public feedback, if you would.
Oh, they don't
Like,
care.
hey, guy, that
I
teaser
think they're
you
just
released.
they're just throwing everything into the void and just seeing what sticks.
Hmm.
They've got enough money apparently.
I'm not a business expert, but it seems like this is a common trend depending on what CEO you have. Because you'll
Mm.
always have that CEO that comes in with a vision, like, oh, if we invest so much in these TV shows, this is going to be great for us, we're going to expand. And then you'll find out 8 years from now, like, oh, Netflix is using a lot of money, fires the CEO. And then now they're trying to find someone to get them back on track. And so each one comes in like, here's how we're going to turn it around, and then their bad ideas fail. So sometimes I think they just get caught up in their own success. And like Austin
Yeah.
said, they're just making stuff to see what sticks. Kind of like, it reminds me mostly of comic book heroes in the early days of comics. the dumbest villains or the dumbest heroes were constantly being made and just thrown at the wall and see what got popular, what didn't.
Yeah.
You know, like Batman has Calendar Man and Kite Man,
Kite
and
Man.
just dumb things like that. You're like, are you serious? Somebody sat down like, I got something I think's gonna be good. Like stupid stuff like that. And I think that's Netflix right now. They're just anything they can.
Well, I think that Netflix for the first time surpassed cable views.
Yeah.
Well, I know, yeah, cable's going to like record low.
Yeah, yeah.
Record low.
And they just got surpassed by Netflix.
Which is probably why AT&T bought Dish. Here in the States, you wouldn't know much about that, Con, but AT&T is one of the biggest cellular providers in the country,
Yeah.
and Dish Network was one of the largest satellite cable providers. And like, there's only two of them. There might be more, but the two biggest one was DirecTV and Dish Network.
Mhm.
And then AT&T bought Dish. So now AT&T owns one of the largest
Yeah,
cellular
but
networks and now one of the largest
well,
broadcasting
that I thought they were
networks.
getting held back by the government because of the monopolization, weren't they? I
You
heard
know,
that they weren't.
they can throw that stuff, but that's going to be 10 years in courts being fought by every lobbyist.
Yeah,
It's like
probably
the
will be.
FCC. Now they're reversing net neutrality. How long until the next administration, maybe even this administration, they get the right lobbyists in there and they rewrite the laws to make this all okay. You know, they could break
It's so
every
dirty.
law in the world
It
and
is.
nobody's going to go to jail.
Yeah.
They might get fined. They're like, oh, well, we'll do better next time. But nobody's going to go to jail and the damage is done. That's just how this stuff works. Now, they're trying to stop Time Warner from merging with.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking
Yeah,
of.
the Time Warner
Merger. That's
merge.
right.
That's what they
Yeah.
were stopping.
Mm.
Because that if AT&T got Time Warner, that means they would be the largest cellular network, the largest broadcasting network, and
Yeah.
the largest internet provider all
Yep.
in one corporation. And
That's
like that,
bad.
that's
That's bad.
way too. No.
No,
You
no,
can
no,
see
no.
that they'll go in there and say it's going to help our customers, and like so we can be terrible at all three things instead of good at just one thing. Like, yeah, that sounds like a great deal for everyone.
With no actual competition to like
Yeah,
combat it.
it'll be getting to the point like now you have to work for them because they're the only
Yeah.
ones with the jobs and they're going to pay you in Time Warner bucks. And like, what can you use that on? Oh, it's only good for your services, so I guess I don't need to eat.
Hmm.
Like then they'll buy the banks and then they'll just insurance and it's all one stream. They're not good at any of it. They're just mediocre at all three. Man, I haven't seen that movie in a long time. The original Birds.
Good film.
Pretty old movie.
I've read the book first because we had to read it in
Oh, wow.
class.
Did you?
Actually, yeah, we read the book first because that was required. It was this project we were doing to see how much movies differentiate from the books. So we read the book and then we had to watch the movie and then try to write like why we think they did this and like well like obviously the director needed to cut 2 hours so he made this character die right away. Stuff like that. But that was an interesting concept.
Yeah, it's pretty
Burns.
revolutionary for the time.
Well, I think it like one part of the book it stuck with me the most is in America the birds were already kind of attacking, but it was random. No one really understood why, except for this guy. He lived on the farm, and he just had a bad off feeling about from day one how these birds were, their behavior and how they would attack and then stop. So he's he's starting to board up his home and getting his family safe, and he'd be listening to the radio because in that time period, TV wasn't big; it was radio, and how the birds in England were starting to assemble, and they were talking about like it was just a natural wonder, and people would be outside, you know, looking at them, painting pictures, and just bird watching, and he'd be thinking like they have no idea what's coming it's going to be a massacre because all these people will be outside when they attack, and then after a few days, the radio dies altogether, and that's when the birds have been killing people. And so it's like, oh man, that was just always something real creative about the book, because it
that
actually
sounds good.
brought, yeah, it just brought a different scenario. Like, oh crap, it's a worldwide problem, and what some people realize is an actual danger, others think it's just a sight to see. And like, how do you warn them? You can't.
Yeah.
So, just neat. It was neat. It was an
Did-
interesting read for that time period.
Did you see that tweet I made about the bird
I
that was
think so.
attacking?
Oh wait, yes, this is coming back to me.
We've got
'cause
these-
I remember your comment.
Yeah, we got birds here called magpies. Magpies.
Oh, right, yeah, right,
they're
yeah.
the biggest dicks in the bird kingdom, hands down. I'm sitting there at the lights just waiting, and I hear this boom. I was like, what? And then boom, boom. Sort of look up, huh? And I'm looking around, nothing. And then I see like a little, like the side flutter of a wing just disappear quickly. And I look up and this fucking magpie's just dive bombing my car over and over. And I start moving forward, and it follows me. So here's me speeding down the highway. Get away from me, bird! Stop scratching my car. The reason they do this is because if you are near a tree that they have a nest in, they
Right.
will attack
Yeah.
you. They don't give a shit. There's two types of people: the ones who get scared and start running, and the other ones who start swinging at them.
Fighting
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, I do a bit of both depending on how I'm feeling at the time. and at work, there's actually people who have come in twice now in the last month, and they're like, "Do you see the little like scratch on the side of my face?" And they're like, "Oh yeah." I go, "Was that a magpie?" He goes, "Yes, the little cunt," because they like to. They all use that word because it's very Australian. And if you wear sunglasses, the reflection also attracts them, and they'll go for your head, like from the front. They are the biggest dicks. I hate magpies.
I seen one. It was on a beach. There was a lady, a tourist, had no idea. You're not supposed to feed the seagulls because they get very aggressive
I saw that.
when
Right.
food's around. Feeds one. They're like, oh, this is so great. 1,000 to send over.
She bolted it. Seagulls lift her up into the air.
It's just mine.
Mine.
They just all attack. It's like, nope, won't see me doing that.
No. The seagulls here are a bit more normal. No, the eagles and the magpies are not. You seen that video that one eagle or hawk or whatever it was tried to take the kid with him?
Yes. The wedgie, right? Is that that eagle you're talking about?
There's a few. That's one. The other one was where they grabbed him from the back.
I've seen one, Austin. A teenager sitting on a bench, minding his own business, has his hoodie over his head.
Mm.
Yeah, just looking at his phone, a wedgie, which think of a bald eagle, but maybe times 2. It's a huge bird, like a
Uh-huh.
fantasy bird.
Scary birds here.
Just out of nowhere, talons grip onto this kid's hoodie, starts pulling him out of the seat. His
Good
arms
Lord.
he's just flailing, screaming, wondering what the crap's happening. And this bird's like, "Rah! I'm taking you to my babies."
They are scary birds.
Oh,
We had one.
beasts.
There was one that landed on the clothesline outside my house. This is the first time I've ever seen it, by the way. Not the bird itself, but what it was doing. And I'm sitting there brushing my teeth in the bathroom and looking out the window, as I do, just to see things. And this one lands, and it's huge. And it's sit there and it's pecking at something. I'm like, what are you doing? Stare a bit, and it's got a bird in its talons. And it's just pecking and eating. And I'm like, this is not what I want to see before going to work. I was
That
devastated.
bird's not dead yet.
It was still
It's
flailing, and it was
It's
gnawing at its neck.
it's
No.
being eaten alive.
Yep, tendons. I'm like, please die quickly. Please die quickly. It's all I was thinking. Devastated.
It's like if you want always a painless death. No, this bird suffered for 40 minutes at least
You
as
don't
it
wanna
was
see
being
it.
killed.
Oh, it only took 5 minutes.
The
Not
the
even
worst thing I've ever seen
3.
is I'm outside it snowed, and out we got lots of rabbits around here, okay? Because we lots of fields,
Right,
so
right.
rabbits. I'm outside, I see rabbit tracks, and I'm like, oh, that's cute. And then the rabbit tracks stop, and then you see these prints that look like feathers touch down, and then there's no more rabbit tracks, and I'm like, uh-oh. Like, rest in peace, little bunny.
Gosh,
So-
I've seen that video of them like releasing this bunny they had. And they're like, "Oh, go free, bunny!" And it starts like bouncing away a little bit, and then a bird just picks
Dude,
it up, and the freaking
Yeah.
rabbit's like ah, screaming as it goes flying away. Oh.
He's just gonna drop it from an altitude to kill it and then
Yep.
eat it. That's what happened to this poor bunny. I know it flew up probably 600 feet in the sky and just dropped.
Yep.
His
It's,
little heart racing.
nature is a vicious thing.
It is. I
Nice.
rescue those suckers. Like, my grass will get tall sometimes, so when I'm lawn mowing, baby bunnies will be in the field or in my
What?
yard. So I'll have to pick
What
them up. And they're
Disney
just-
movie do you live in?
Oh, this is for real. I've saved like 3 of them last year, and they're just barely fit in your palm, and they're so cute, and they breathe in real heavy, so scared. And then you just carry them off, and you set them down, and they don't move, so you gotta pat their butt, and then they'll run away. And so I'm looking, and I see those tracks, and I'm like, I know I saved one of you, and you got killed for this day. I'm so sorry. I should have just got you with the mower. Just killed you. It would have been quick.
Oh.
I've never seen the sequel Bambi 2, but I think Nostalgia Cricket, if I recall, he was reviewing the movie,
I think so, yeah.
and they did something in the movie that was dark,
Ooh.
and he commented on it because it was still that it was like directly after Bambi lost his mother. This is when this movie takes place. He's still a young fawn, right? And hunters are using deer calls. And so in his language, he hears like this kind of like undead woman calling Bambi, because that's what it sounded like in that deer. So in the hunter's perspective, they're just making deer sounds, but he's
Right.
hearing what he thinks is his mother, but it doesn't sound natural at all. And so he's looking around for her and stuff. Like, that's dark, Disney. You don't do that.
That's awesome.
And it's like, I was surprised because when you hear it, you're like, oh, that is creepy. Somebody in audio was having a good time with
Yeah.
this.
I need to watch
they're
this.
They're like, just that scene alone, and his father saves him. He's like, no, Bambi, that's not your mother. And then he lures him away from the field, but you're like, oh, Disney, you got something in you, don't you? You enjoyed that.
They used to, not anymore.
Like, oh, just
You-
thinking back on it. Oh.
Yeah, you tend not to watch those sequels because you think, straight to video, they must be all rubbish because most of them technically are. But there are some
Yes.
gold, some absolute gold ones.
Yeah, he actually praised that one pretty well. The animation was good. He said father-son development, because it was his father who didn't his father who was his dad but didn't want to be his father necessarily. Like, he didn't want the responsibility of raising Bambi. Now has to, so he's
Yeah.
trying to learn what it means to be a dad.
Hmm.
And then Bambi's looking for his mom. He's still going through that phase, and so it's like that's pretty different. When you hear Bambi 2, I'm thinking it's all sunshine, flowers, and music, but no, apparently not. There's suffering.
Maybe. I've seen a lot of the sequel stuff ones. I think the only one I actually really liked was the third Little Mermaid movie. I didn't like the second one at all. But the
With their
third one-
daughter.
yeah, that was dumb. The third one's good. The third one's really good. I was
I thought
surprised.
the third one was her daughter. What's
No.
what's the third one?
Second's the daughter. Third one is her when she was younger. It was like a bit after they lost her mother or something.
Oh, okay.
I think by memory.
I think I know what you're talking. Like Ariel's beginning, right?
Yeah, beginning. It was good.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Some
I
of the
never
songs
seen
were
it. I
good
know what
too.
you're talking. I know you've seen all the Tinkerbell ones, so we won't talk about that.
I haven't seen them all. I own all of them. I've seen some.
See, they're on that shelf, shrink wrap.
Well, I never planned to watch it because I thought Tinkerbell, and then I see the movie and I'm, this looks like things for little girls. And then I watched the little girls. Meanwhile, Little Mermaid's my favorite. Anyway, I saw the pirate. What's it called again?
Yeah, I know what one you're talking
Pirate
about.
Fairy. I saw that because the kids my mum was watching at the time started watching, and I caught it a couple of times. This is actually really good, and I watched the whole thing, and then I saw another one. I was like, not bad. So I grabbed them all when they were on special for like $8 each, and I'm gonna watch them all. So
Let's be honest. Let's just get this out of the water now. We all know Tinkerbell is Disney's pinup girl. So
She's
you saw,
pretty hot.
like, man, that's a short skirt. Like, I might just pick these movies up. And that's what happened. That's what you did.
I saw that outfit change they did on her. Thankfully, it only lasted briefly. Where they gave her pants. Like, no, that's not the character. Stop it. She's a pixie. Pixies don't wear pants.
Not even the men.
Not even the men.
Not even the men.
It's true, they don't. So, yeah. I looked up reviews just to make sure they weren't all complete trash. I think a couple of them might be average, but others were meant to be really good. So at least majority are good. So I don't mind buying one that might not be good. I might enjoy it anyway, so whatevs. So I got those. But leave me alone. Being Christmas, my work, I think I might have told you, my work had a Secret Santa thing. And I don't do Secret Santas. There's actually a lot that I don't do at my previous workplaces. One, I don't get into photos, which I have been here. Two, I don't do morning teas ever, and I do here. Here I've been doing the amount of effort I've put in to be able to be kept at this place is Herculean. You have no idea.
It's going to be so funny when it all falls down.
It's probably just waiting to next month. But anyway, they had a Secret Santa thing, and this. Do you know what those are? I'm sure.
Right. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like everybody draws a name and you got to get a gift for that person,
Yeah.
but you don't tell them.
This one is a slightly different version of that, where you buy a gift at a certain amount of money, you can't go over it, and then you put it down in a pile, and then the first person gets it, opens it up, and something along the lines of, if the next person has a choice of pick a present or take theirs.
Okay.
And
Here, I don't know why they call that white elephant.
it probably is. I'm sure
I
it's
don't
not.
know why that name, but that's
Yeah.
the concept, yeah.
It's just a different version. I'm sure it's called different things everywhere. I'd never done this before. I thought this is stupid, but of course I went in happily. And I couldn't find a gift under the amount that they wanted that made me happy. I don't want to get a piece of shit. It makes me angry. It reflects on me personally, and I hate that stuff. And I've always done this. I always pay a little bit extra. And I found these bowls because I'm trying to buy for these people, not what I would buy for myself. And I'm thinking, what would they like? And I'm normally very good with gifts. And it was these bowls, like Japanese ones, and they had the chopsticks, but they had this awesome pattern on them, and they were unreal. It was a pair of two. I was like, that's nice. These people will like that shit. And it cost an extra like $20 more. I don't care. So I got it, and I went in. And of all the gifts that were stolen, that one was taken 5 times. And there's only 14 of us. So picture how many times that must have been taken. And you can't retake it. So it was like boom, 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 boom. And it got to the part, the 4th person that took it was a lady who'd lost her husband last month. And she'd only just come, just for the Christmas thing. She's not ready to come back to work yet, clearly. Because that's something you take time, but she came anyway to this just to be with all of us for Christmas thing. She took it, and I was like, I'm happy. I'd like her to have it. And then this other lady, she was her turn. She came over, grabbed it. The look in the eyes of this lady, she's like, "What?" And I was devastated. I'm like, "What did you just do?" And the lady goes, "I'm sorry, but it's war." And she quickly sits down. I couldn't believe she did that. It was couldn't believe it.
Office politics.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. They're all friends. They all laughed at the end, but I'm still like, no, there's like things you don't do. That's one. Just give her something. And
I
then
mean, if you're gonna do it, but back at the
Yep.
end of the thing, do it for your laugh, sure.
it was stolen off her as well by another guy after that, who had no interest in it but thought it looked good, clearly because it did, compared to all the other gifts. So she lost it again. And I was trying to tell him, I was like, you should give it to her. It'd be nice because she wanted it. He goes, yeah, yeah. I don't know what happened. I think he gave it to
went
this other
somewhere.
lady that was there who wanted it. It's like, well, whatever. But that's my funny
Your
work
story, your story kind of reminds me. This was way, way back in my youth. I was probably 17, all right, and I was at a church function with the youth group, and we were with another youth group from a neighboring church. So it's kind of like a join forces activity kind of a thing, and it was a party is all it was.
Mm-hmm.
And they were playing a game, just basically like a lotto kind of bingo, draw the ticket, and then if your number gets called, then you get to pick a prize from this table. And the table had a different assortment of gifts. There was like some jewelry, and there was like some clothes, and on there was a couple movie tickets, like a movie pass for a local theater. My name got drawn.
Mm.
I'm like, oh, cool. And I'm looking at the table, and my youth leader, she comes over to me, and her daughter is just a couple years younger than me. And as my turn, she whispers and goes, I think my daughter would really like getting those earrings from you. And I'm looking down, I see those earrings. I go, yeah. It's like, yeah. So I reach down and I pick up the movie ticket instead. I'm cashing it. I just smile. I go, can't set this guy up. Nope. He decides who he's giving earrings to.
That's funny.
It's probably one of my favorite memories
yeah.
from that time.
I clap you. That's funny.
It just gives me a smile. I don't know. I don't think her daughter ever found out. Like, if I had to pick her movie, I'm going for that movie.
You'd be straight in that death note that day. Instantly. Twice.
Yep.
Die twice!
Just reaching down, picking that up. That was my favorite thing. I was just like, nah.
You could see the inside. Inside was just glowing and happy and smiley as you reached for it. You're like a Christmas tree all lit up.
Like
I
she's
know
trying
what
to set me up with her kid. I don't want that.
That's
Oh.
funny. We got a Santa at our work. I got a photo with him. He's not
You
real,
got Santa.
so it's probably
Oh yeah, I
creepier.
saw that picture on Twitter.
I ran over to him when I saw it, like, Santa! Boom! I actually tried sitting on his lap to get a photo, but he half crumpled and I couldn't get the phone far enough, so I didn't do it. So that would have been pretty funny to see. But we have a selfie wall. Again, something I would never involve myself in. Because I'm an introvert and being around people makes me twitch after a while. Especially
Yeah, I understand.
large groups, which is why I don't do large gathering things. I didn't go to the work Christmas party because it wasn't just our group. This was the entire floor went to it. Not just floor, but I think 3 floors of that building. I'm like, heaps of people, most I don't know, all drinking. No, I don't care who doesn't like this, that I'm not going. I'm not going. Forget
Yeah.
it. I can't do this. Drunk people. I'm not doing it. Make me
I
cry.
understand.
Yeah.
I will real fast tell you guys one thing. And this is on a serious note of the Santa.
Ooh.
When I worked at the store, they would, because it's Walmart, they would set up a Santa corner, and they would have to have an associate put on the Santa costume, and
Yeah,
then
you did
pretend
it
to be
once
Santa
or twice, right?
Yeah, I did it twice.
He got arrested twice too.
No touchy. I didn't know. There was no training. They just put me down. I didn't. But Most of us always hated doing it, but it's just part of the job. Like, whatever, just do it. We got out of work for a day. This is how we looked at it. But one thing made it the entire thing worth it.
Mm.
I had got done being Santa for like 7 hours.
Ugh.
I was walking to the back of to go to the back of the store so I can get out of the suit. I'm hot, I'm tired, I'm sick of this, all this thing. As I'm walking past the toy department, I hear this little girl, maybe 5, scream out in excitement, Santa! So I'm like, crap, I'm still on the floor. I still gotta be in character.
Mhm.
So I turn around, I smile, I do my ho ho ho, waving and stuff. And I didn't see who it was at the time, but then I see the girl. The girl she was paralyzed. Like she wasn't completely, she could still walk, but she had a lot of deformations like in her legs and stuff. She
Mm.
was quite deformed. She basically had both her hands on the shopping cart because she wanted to walk, but she couldn't do it by herself.
Mhm.
So she saw me, and I stop, and she lets go of the cart. And her mom puts her hands right up to her mouth in amazement, and she walks to me. It was only about 5 feet. She struggled, but she had the biggest smile on her face for her arms outreached to hug me. And I'm like, I gotta do it. So I reached out, I hug her, and she's like, I love you, Santa. And I'm like, oh crap.
If only
Like
she knew.
every bad mouth I did in my head, like, oh, this kid's ugly. This is gonna hurt.
Oh.
Sitting on my lap, like this one's huge. This is gonna be terrible. Just to have at the end of that day, that little come up and hug me, and I gave her a candy cane, and I told her like, I love you too, and I'm very proud of you. And then her mom's like, she's never done that before. And her mom wanting to cry, and then they hug her, and I wave goodbye, and I go to the back room, and then I tell no one what happened. No one can know.
He took it off, grew a beard instantly,
Like, this is the day.
went outside and started chopping wood. Urgh!
Be a man.
Be a man!
Don't let them see you cry. That's right. That was the only thing that made that entire ordeal worth it.
Did you pick her up?
No, I didn't pick her up.
Oh,
I stayed on the ground, but I hugged her.
no. You're meant to lift
Like
her up.
there's boundaries. I don't know. if
You're
picking-
Santa. You're
yeah,
allowed. She
I
walked.
could pick her up and then run out the store with her. Mine.
She's my new elf.
You'll live with me forever. I'm
Only
your
my
mommy now.
Only my favorites become my elves. We'll even we'll make a donation tier. Anyone donates on that tier gets them photoshopped on Jed's lap as Santa. And we'll have Austin and myself on either side as his elves.
Mhm.
Wouldn't you like to put that on your wall? Send us in money, $30. We'll make a picture for you. If anyone does it, I'm screwed.
It's like I wasn't ready. I didn't know.
I better put
Wow,
it
I gotta
higher.
keep my promises.
$50.
$300.
I don't have time to do anything, so that will kill me. Oh my! Yesterday, so cool. I was watching a hawk. If you'd seen my tweet,
Oh yeah, I did see your tweet. You
Yeah.
should have recorded that.
I grabbed my camera and actually went out and was taking photos and video at the same time. But
Mhm.
I screwed up the video, so I wasn't taking video. And the photos, while still turning out fine, I hadn't adjusted the shutter speed. So every time
Blurry.
they moved, they were slightly blurry instead of being completely perfectly sharp like this awesome camera can do. So I just wasn't paying attention. Very annoyed. Because you'd see this hawk just glide, and this stupid wild turkey chicken thing running around, just no clue what to do. And he couldn't carry it away. It was too big. The hawk's just
So he was trying to carry it away while it was alive.
yeah. He kept trying to grab onto it and lift, and then like slip and back again. And there were two turkeys running around in the yard, and this hawk's like, what the fuck? And it lands, starts staring at which one, and then goes after. For like 5 minutes I was watching this. It was great.
Did you see any clips on how PUBG ran on the Xbox?
No.
Mm.
It runs at like, it was running at like 15 FPS.
Better than I
Like the
expected.
textures weren't loading, and not only that, but there's no auto aim, and no auto aim on console means like just a mess.
That's
of
got to be
people
a
just
absolute frustration for everybody.
like there's this video of these guys just trying to kill each other, like just point blank, just like just they cannot even come close to hitting each other.
They've been playing Call of
Oh.
Duty too long.
Oh
No,
man.
it is funny when you have auto aim in games, especially with like Halo, because I would play that sometimes on the 360 with friends, and I know there was times where it felt like the game
It's
just took
so
over for you.
frustrating, yeah.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Because
like-
I
I'm
wouldn't
like
even be
aiming at
touching
one
it.
guy, and another guy will
Yeah.
run in, and my game will like aim at that other dude. I'm like,
Mhm.
no.
Exactly. Or like I was just running with a guy, didn't even have my hand on that right stick, and then
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cursor's following him.
Yeah.
I went, this auto aim is so obvious, and these guys think they're so good.
Yeah.
I know.
They
And
think
that's
they're
the thing.
so good.
That's the thing. You turn it off, it's unplayable. You
Mhm.
cannot aim with the console controls without
You can't.
friendly fire auto aim. That's what we're looking for. It's just like impossible.
It is very hard. I played one of the Call of Duty ones a while back that had the beach Normandy thing, and I ran on and I had a handgun and I'm shooting at the bunker far away in the distance where a guy is shooting at us, and I'm getting headshots.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? What is this?
Oh,
Made me laugh.
it's
Friends like, hey, you're really good. I'm like, bro, it's console.
you don't have to be good. You just have to know how to play the game. That's all.
Yeah.
I'll admit I did feel a bit Superman-ish.
Well, they've done cross-platform a couple of times on some Xbox games. I think. I remember early on, back when there was games for Windows.
Spit.
Yeah.
I remember. I don't recall what the game was called though, but
Batman.
nah, it was a first-person arena type game, and it was being all hyped up as a cross-platform, and then like 4 weeks later they disabled the cross-platforming.
Is that the one where they kept saying, 60 players, etc.?
I don't think so. This was much smaller, like 15.
Oh, you're thinking of
Oh,
like Shadow.
that was
Yeah, Shadow something.
Shadow.
I want to say
remember the
Shadow
full name.
Run, but I think that's a
Shadow
cell phone
Run.
game.
No,
Is it?
no. Shadowrun's a RPG. I think.
No, there were two. There was the online one. Yeah, it was Shadowrun. I remember this.
Yeah.
I remember
Well,
them doing crossplay of the game. Yeah, and it went so bad they had to get rid of it or something like
Yeah,
that.
and there was always rumor about what it was, and then eventually the developer came clean, going like the console people were getting decimated. Like they had auto aim already, but it still wasn't competing to
Yeah.
the reaction time that the mouse and keyboard setup was giving people. So they disabled it because it was unfair.
We need more games. Like, for real.
Well, there needs to be actual good co-op games, and there really aren't that many out there.
And most of them are just multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
squad
real.
up
Yeah,
with
co-op.
people.
Co-op isn't really a thing. It's just mostly just multiplayer.
Hmm.
Even then, this year was amazing for video games. It was not an amazing year for like multiplayer. There
No.
were not that many good multiplayer games at all this year.
I've completed like 2 games this year, and those games are like 4 or 5 years old.
I've completed, good lord, like 20. I mean, I'm putting together a top 10 games of this year that I played, and like it's like up to 20, and I don't know how I'm gonna narrow it down.
Were most of them given to you, or did you buy them?
I have no idea. I've bought a lot. I've been gifted a lot. I mean, it's the only thing I spend my money on is video games. So
Hmm. Yeah, it's true. When you don't do anything else, there is money for stuff. Like me, I do my
Mhm.
collection things.
yeah, I haven't bought a figure in like a year.
My figures are expensive.
I know. I can't even handle how much yours are.
They're brutal,
Like,
but
like I see a figure and I'm like, oh, I want that. But if it's like more than like 150, I'm like, nope, not getting it.
no. When it gets to that amount, it has to be something that I'll kill for.
Yeah.
The thing is, so there's so many nice ones that are only 150 like ever.
You got to look at what's bad about them, not look at them and go, "Oh, they're really nice." Look for the faults. When
Man,
you
there's
s-
this one I want so bad. This Geralt, like the Witcher from The Witcher. It's
Yeah,
like an $800 statue. I'm like, oh,
it's gonna
oh.
look good for that much. But to do something like that, he needs to be like your most favorite character ever to spend that much.
He is. He is though.
Still,
I'd marry him if he was real.
I don't know, him versus
You're so
Vegeta.
gay.
Vegeta wins.
Dude, I would literally go gay for Geralt. Okay, maybe not literally, but close.
You can't just. What's closer than literally? It's like I got my
Like-
hand on it,
like
but I'm
lots
not
of
gonna kiss
hugs.
it. So it's like a bunch of cats with his face on it or something.
Geralt is awesome. I mean, I've loved him since the first game, where some people are like, "Oh, combat shit!" Like, go kill yourself. It's great.
Yep, I love that game.
First game I
Beat
hoard.
it. Beat it a few months ago.
I still need to play the
What-
third one.
The third one?
No, the first one. I played through the first one a few months ago.
First one's
Man,
awesome.
I haven't played the first one.
I liked it more
I
than the
attempted
second.
it only once. That was like when I got my very
Yeah,
first
you were
PC
saying
built.
it ran really bad for you or whatever. It
Like
did
even the
run bad.
cutscenes real.
Yeah, it
like-
really did run bad. Well, it was all in game. That's why it ran
Yeah.
bad in cutscene.
Yeah.
Your computer now should be able to handle it no problem because you didn't have that video card.
Oh, I'm
before.
sure it will. But I guess also my expectations on what kind of game I was playing was different than what
How?
I was. I don't
It's
know.
a-
I was
it's just-
thinking it was gonna play more like an action.
Yeah, I think that's how most people thought, and that's the problem. And even then,
Mm.
I love the combat in that
Yeah.
game. I just love it.
It's why
It's
they
it's very
changed it.
different, and I just like it. a
I
lot.
didn't give it a good chance.
No,
Let's
they-
say that.
A lot of
I
people.
went in thinking it was different.
It was like timing clicks and doing certain other buttons at the
But
same
the thing
time.
about the game is like, the combat's awesome, but it's all about the role playing in that game.
Yeah,
Like you can accomplish quests doing so many different things. Like there's so many ways to approach every situation. It's just very in depth, very story driven,
the second
very
one
open ended.
I didn't enjoy it as much as the first one.
I think the second one is the weakest of the three.
Yeah,
I like the second one, but I still think it's like the weakest one.
it makes me sad when I hear people saying, "Oh, I love number 2," because they either played on console or something. I say, "Play the first one." They're like, "Huh?
Yeah.
Why?
yeah.
It's old." I just want to be able to say "kill yourself" and make it happen every time I hear someone say it's old.
Yeah, I know.
Why?
That's this
That's
year.
super-
It was this year. I played through the original Deus Ex,
Best game.
first one, and loved the absolute crap out of that game. I put like 90, 80, 100 hours into that sucker and loved it. And it's like an old game.
I wanna
Doesn't
replay
matter
that
how old
again.
it is.
There are certain old games where you can just replay forever.
Yeah.
I'm firing up Jedi Academy the minute I get my computer.
Yeah.
I love
I
that.
booted that up semi recently.
I actually purchased that one, but I didn't get to play it.
Kill yourself.
I could be playing it now. I'll just leave. But my heart hurts for some reason. What is? Ooh!
I am now an
You
X-Man.
look at your hand. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm Xavier.
Go outside to all the people I don't like. It's not working. Oh, people would drop like flies around me.
You'd be literally death incarnated.
I would. I'd be walking and people just start dropping. I mean, I'd know who they were and.
My kid, he loves the Disney movie Cars.
Yeah.
Loves it. Loves it. It's an understatement.
Still haven't seen it.
And I told Catherine, like, one day, you won't know which, but one day he's going to watch Cars for the last time. And it just kind of just sat with her for a minute. And she's like, actually, that's sad. I'm like, yep. One day he's not going to want this anymore. He's not going to want you anymore.
He just kept going.
Just look at that. I'm like,
He'll
"So
want me.
enjoy it."
He won't want you though.
Said, enjoy it.
Tears after that.
While you
She'll
can.
wake you up at 3 in the morning. Jed, I had a horrible dream. He left us.
Like, how could you do that? Like, I didn't do anything. Well, apologize right now.
Go away, woman. Need my sleep
Slap!
so I can cut down trees tomorrow.
Like a man!
Just rip your shirt and then roll over and sleep some more.
Oh, yeah!
In your mind, you're just picturing yourself as Gaston lying in bed.
No one sleeps like Gaston.
Best character. Love him.
Oh. You seen that
I-
Disney, that video clip of that Gaston doing the one-handed push-up at Disneyland?
He's
or whatever?
awesome.
I was just getting ready to say, I love that video.
He's
Because that
Because
guy
one-
challenges him to the art,
Yeah,
like, but I can do more
destroyed him.
push-ups than you. And he just like blows him out of the water.
Yeah. Some people in the
It was-
comments, he's cheating. It's like, first, he's still doing it, even cheating or not. And second, he's Gaston. He's meant to cheat.
And on top of that, 2 hands, people might have a problem with, but he did 1.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
Like,
kept
even
going
on.
while talking.
I know. While talking, have you ever tried doing a one-handed push-up?
They're
That
hard.
is hard as frick.
I think I did 1 in my life, and after I was like, no.
And the best part about that video is that you'd read the comments, and I always remember this one. A mom left. Like, I would be, what did she say? Like, I would just be so terrified, something along that line. Like, she would be just scared to death if she was at Disney World and had to see Gaston doing push-ups like that in front of her daughter. I was like, of all the things,
Terrified? What?
she used like a really I wish I could remember this. I know these memories, but I just don't recall them well enough to describe them properly. But think of a word that for terrified, but it means like the most type of terrified there is.
Horrified?
Horrified, maybe horrified would be a word. How her sentence basically says, like, I would be horrified if I saw a girl like that man doing that in front of my 3-year-old daughter or something like that. Like, just completely off the scale. And I think she was upset because Gaston was in a competition for a woman, obviously that kid's girlfriend, and that's what appalled her so much.
Yeah, because
And
she's
so-
never had men fight over her. I saw a recent one of a guy dressed as Megatron, and did you see that? The kid walked up to him with Optimus's head. The guy was
No.
awesome. He went on to this big ad lib thing, made him part of the Decepticons, etc. Blah blah. And then he's like, "Run, go do something." I can't remember how I said it. And the kid, because he's a little kid, he just stood there holding the head. And so Megatron's like, "Shit," and he had to keep going. And he was unreal. He's like, "I allow you to keep the head as a trophy," and this is going on and on. And he shoot him about 3-4 times, and the kid would not move, and he still kept going. He should get an award. It's unreal. Look it up sometime. It's awesome.
Have you seen that clip of the Incredibles' wife? I don't remember her name. I don't remember what it was, like a Disney show or whatever. Someone dressed in a suit, like walking on stage, and she trips, and her face falls off.
What?
She like has to cover her face and hurry off stage.
Oh no,
Oh.
that would have been terrifying.
I never saw anything fun like that when I was at Disney World. I did
wanna
get
go.
Tinkerbell to blow me a kiss though, so that
Oh,
was a good
blow.
day.
What?
She was on top of the float. I said, "Call me!" And she blew me a kiss.
Tough on my lord. I don't want to go to Disneyland. This sucks.
World or land?
Both, but specifically World. But I want to go both.
World's pretty big.
I need to do World because of the cruise.
World's like you have to take like a week to do World. It's freaking ginormous.
Oh, my plan
Especially
is.
if you want to see all the shows.
Yeah, I'm doing the 5-day thing. I
No,
don't
it's
think
just-
there's anything
it's like-
more.
There's like 3 freaking parks at Disney World. It's ridiculous. Or 4.
I'm doing it
There's
all.
4, I believe. Like Future World or Epcot. Epcot, what do they call that? And then
I thought they-
Magic
Epcot.
Kingdom. That's the mean one.
I thought
Yeah,
they took
Epcot.
Future World off.
Future World's still
Future
part
World's
of.
in Epcot, but I think they did
Yeah.
replace. They're replacing it with something. I can't remember.
They're replacing it with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. No,
Ugh.
no, that was the tower that they're replacing.
That's the
with
tower.
Guardians.
Yeah, you're right. That's a tower in Disneyland.
Yeah.
2000.
Hollywood. Like, is
Yeah.
it Planet Hollywood?
In 19,
Yeah.
they got
There's a movie one. There's Animal Kingdom.
Fantasy. That's the other one.
Yeah. That's right.
Because they had like Ariel's Lagoon and
Man,
then,
I've been to Disney World like 3 times, and I got in free every time.
Yes, you always got a friend that works there or something crazy.
What's her head? You know her. Ellie worked there. The guy that Cody was sweet on for a while. She
Oi.
worked there and got me in.
Be her friend again whenever I get there.
I mean, she's still on my Facebook. She doesn't work there anymore. She got fired. She ate a
Oh.
cookie or something, and they fired
What?
her or something. Yeah, it was the dumbest reason why they kicked her out.
Well, they consider it theft. You know how that is.
I don't even think, like, it was like a garbage cookie, like she had to throw out. It was just his weirdest reason. It
Wow.
was the weirdest
There's more
reason.
to this story. She ain't telling something.
Maybe.
Maybe she ate a cookie and then threw it up in a mask or something.
Yeah, she got me in like 3 times, I think.
Maybe that's why she got fired. Yeah, fire her for something.
No,
Fire
because
for the
you're allowed
cookie.
to. You were allowed to do that or something. The student program.
Well, we need to meet more students to get free.
Yeah, Con. Someone your age. Go find a student.
Sure, Craigslist. Need
You
young
think you can get me
students.
into Disney World? They won't have a problem with that.
Mickey's pins him down.
Well, I'll know in 3 weeks if I'm going or not. So,
Man, even the Disney Walk area, which is a free area to go to, is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, the I know what you're talking about. It's like basically it's a giant strip that's
Yeah,
just
it's
got
just
all
a
these
giant
Disney
strip of Disney
stores
store.
and a
Yeah, it's
theater.
got the Lego store too.
That Lego store was impressive.
Yeah, it was really cool.
That's in the
If
free
you
area.
ever want, yeah, as in like you don't have to pay to get in this, but it's all
Wow.
Disney owned, Disney themed.
I took my
But-
parents there when they visited me in Florida. It was pretty cool.
They're just stores essentially. So,
Yeah, I got a
Right.
video of me and Jonah going there. There's this one store with like these ridiculous just like Mickey faces and whatnot, but they're like crystal or like diamonds or something. They're like thousands of dollars. Like everything in the store was like over like $1,000. We're like
mm-hmm.
freaking out at everything. It's like this is like $3,000. What? It's just like a little statue of Minnie Mouse, but it's
Mhm.
diamond, so it's like $3,000.
Mhm.
Who would buy this?
I know what you're talking about. I seen the same thing but it was like the Magic Kingdom castle.
Yeah. There was a castle one too.
Yeah, and I saw that for like $7,000, and I'm like, I wanted to touch it so bad, but I resisted because I'm clumsy. Because that's all I need just to break that. Only thing I can do is run away.
Oh, they also have that really cool candy shop
Would
too.
have fallen on you.
Oh yeah.
There's like that wall of jelly beans and it's like color coded.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Pick whatever you want.
It's pretty cool.
What?
These ridiculous like just candy canes, giant, like the size of your head.
I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, they had the candy store. The Lego store is a favorite. Then they actually had a toy store,
Yeah, the toy store.
the giant toy store, and that one's really good.
I was checking the website for Disney just yesterday to see if they still had certain things I was interested in, and the replica Cinderella castle with these lights and stuff on it isn't on sale anymore.
Wow.
It's been there for years and now it's gone. Mind you, that shit was like 900, which is why I didn't have it.
Yeah.
But I wanted it because it looks so cool. Now they got a cheaper one, like 250 replica. Looks really nice. No lights though, unfortunately.
So cheap.
Well,
Wow.
considering 900 versus 250, and it's bigger.
Gosh. $250 for a lamp.
This has
Oh, that's
no
all right.
lights.
When we went to the cruise, they wanted like $500 for a pillow.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, the pillow was in every room. It was just how it was part of the decor. but you could buy the pillow and bring it home, and it was like $500.
Wow. Who would do
We're
that
going-
apart from rich people
I don't know. I don't know.
and crazy people?
And
To be fair, they do seem to target the richer folk.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
Disney.
mean, if you're on a Disney cruise, you're already paying more than the average cruise.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
it shows it's a classy ship, but you can't put Disney on anything without the markup.
Yeah.
You want a coffee mug? That'll be $28.
But at least food is cheap.
Yeah. Well, the
Food at
food's all
Disney is
free.
not cheap.
On the
At
cruise.
least you mean the cruise.
Yeah.
Okay, the cruise.
Yeah, I mean that's free. It's
gonna
all
say-
included.
Freaking you go to like a crappy McDonald's at Disney World, and it's like $15 for a Big Mac. You're like,
You're like, I hope that's
okay.
just a Florida price. You want a bottle of water? Yeah. So is it going to be your arm or leg that we take?
Both. Ha! Trick
You know what?
question.
You know what you need to get when you go to Disney World. Get the churros. Get the freaking churros.
Huh.
They are amazing.
What are those?
It's like cinnamon. I can't. I don't even know what they are.
Oh, they're bread
They're
thing.
amazing though. Yeah, they're bread, but like coated in cinnamon,
Hmm.
sugar. And Disney has the best churros around. Like every freaking booth that had a churro, my brother would be like, "Who wants a churro?" And he'd like, "Buy if you want." Like every time, and there were like booths everywhere. They sold churros. It's like every time we came across.
They
them, we got
know. They know. They're putting cocaine in them. If you do get to go to Disney World, the
Take me
best
to the
show
churros.
is it Phantasm? It's that one show they do at the end of the day that
Oh, yeah, the
uses
light
laser
parade?
lights. Yeah, well, not the light parade.
It has a name.
Yeah, Phantasm. And
And this isn't those
It's-
floats, is it?
it's
This
an
is
out-
different.
this is a different. It's an outside theater, but it's massive. It fits like
Man, I never
5,000
saw
people.
that.
It's the best show. We went and saw it 2 nights in a row.
I want to go. 3 more weeks and I'll know.
Yeah, I've been to Disney World like 3 times. I've been to Disneyland like 3 times, I think. Like it was like, cause man, my family, we lived from paycheck to paycheck like my whole life growing up. So going to Disneyland was like the biggest thing of our lives. It was like insane that we were able to do it. And I was sick like 95% of the time. We went to Disneyland and we went to Universal Studios.
Mhm.
And Disneyland, I was puking my guts out, didn't get to eat anything. And then at Universal, I had like just like the worst diarrhea imaginable. Like it was like just like one after the other.
Were you eating bad stuff or something?
I don't even know. I wasn't even able to eat that much because of how sick I was. Like I was so sick, they got a wheelchair for me.
What?
So we have pictures of me with Mickey, and I'm all in a wheelchair.
I want to see these
Oh.
pictures.
They're like all treating me special, and we gotta cut.
Look at
We
the sick
listen,
boy.
listen to this. We gotta cut every line because I was in the wheelchair. There was a specific line for wheelchaired people, so we gotta cut every line for every ride because I was in a wheelchair.
Too bad you couldn't
And it was
enjoy
like,
it.
dude, we need to do this. Like, just buy a wheelchair every like because you rent the wheelchair at the start. You could rent wheelchairs, and that's what we did.
Wow.
So you
So if
didn't
you want
even
to be like, if you want to be really scummy, just rent a wheelchair, and you'll get in front lines every time.
Oh, you're about to get on the ride. Stand up. Hold my wheelchair.
Yeah.
That's like working at Walmart. You see perfectly healthy people getting out of their trucks,
Yeah.
walking all the way into the store, looking
Getting
for a
those flipping
scooter.
cars,
Yep.
yeah.
Getting the scooter, and then they drive it out in the parking lot and leave it out in the
Oh.
lot.
It was so
Oh.
crazy though. We were like, wait a minute, there's a wheelchair line, and so like whole family would just go to that line. Oh.
I see 6 healthy walking people. Oh wait, here's the wheelchair boy. Okay.
We're gonna, Jed. You're going in the wheelchair on the first day.
I feel bad. Maybe I should break your leg and you can be in the wheelchair, and then.
I'll go on the second day.
Oh, okay. That way, yeah, they don't catch on to the pattern.
Like, weren't you here yesterday? Nah.
We'll wear mustaches. No, that was another guy.
Different weeks.
You Russian?
Yes, they'll never know.
Every time, different accent.
Jamaican locks one day.
This will be awesome. We'll be on video too. Pray for me. Hopefully, I can get there.
Pray for a quick death.
That's my
I
second
mean, at
option.
least you'll have a good PC if you don't go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You can watch my
Slightly.
live stream when I go.
Mm-mm.
Buy a VR headset and then do like the VR experience of Disneyland.
I'll strap some GoPros to me. VR compatible later.
If I don't
That's
go,
what GoPro needs to do.
if I don't get this stupid job, I'm buying a monitor because I'm done. I'm over this.
Well, yeah, you're gonna have like a freaking top of the line PC with what? Like, what's the max resolution of your monitor?
16.
It's like
1600 by
It's
1000.
hilarious to think about.
I've had this for 10
like-
years.
It's like strapping bicycle wheels to a freaking top of the line hot rod or something. Man, speaking of, this laptop I've had has been great, but I've had to replace the hard drive once, and the hard drive's failing again on it. I don't know what the deal is. I bought a replacement. I've got an extra hard drive sitting around, but I don't want to flip and install it, so I've been lazy. Like, it takes forever to load anything on this, but once it's loaded, it's good.
It's a
So I just have
SSD.
Chrome. No, it's not an SSD.
What
But
is?
I just have Chrome open like at all times, and it loads everything fine, but it takes forever to load anything.
What brand is the hard drive?
It was a Seagate, I do believe.
Stay away.
It was the Toshiba laptop,
Mm.
and it had a Toshiba hard drive, and I was reading up, and everyone's like saying that the Toshiba hard drives are garbage. So I just replaced the hard drive with this. It was a good hard drive from what I understood. All the reviews said it was great, but it's been like 3 years and it's failing again, failing already. So it's like
Yeah,
whatever.
you'll find most of the reviews are in the first 6 months.
yeah, it's true.
Seagate doesn't have a good lasting. You just stick to Western Digital. They seem to somehow do well over the years.
Yeah.
Samsung was good, but they don't make drives anymore.
I just wish it'd all go SSD already. Then you don't have to worry about the moving
I don't even,
parts
man, I can't even
failing.
fathom what would an SSD for a laptop cost.
They're not
Same
that
as any.
much, really.
Yeah, but how would you plug it in? They're like tiny things, aren't they?
SSDs
Did you
are
need an
standard size, unless
adapter?
you're thinking of like M2.
My SSD for my flipping desktop's like the size of a freaking credit card.
Yeah, so is
What?
mine. Well, not that small, but it's definitely
The little
compact.
pocket-sized stuff. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're usually the ones that are in laptops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess that's true. They're kind of tiny already.
Not the big.
Yeah, they don't
big
have to
brick
do
ones.
much more.
Yeah, I just
Unless-
I think I got that on the Black Friday sale, that hard drive.
Hmm.
So it was really cheap.
Well, the SSD ones, they are pretty cheap now. Unless you get to the big size ones, then it's not cheap.
Yeah, that's usually how
Yeah.
it goes.
But I just want them to be like in the 4 terabyte range by now. It costs the same as a standard hard drive.
I think they're only at 1 at the moment.
I've
Might
seen
be wrong.
I've seen a 2, but it was like $900.
Yeah. So
It's like-
ridiculous. For that few extra 100 gigs, it's like that much more money. It's like, that's ridiculous.
What's
would
even
buy
more
that?
ridiculous is that when people were buying them when they first came out,
Yeah.
like
I mean,
just got a
I
30
understand when it
gig.
first came out because it was a big
SSD.
deal.
Yeah.
But I mean, why wait? I mean, just wait.
Yeah,
a
yeah,
30 gig SSD that you pay $200 for?
Yeah. I mean, that's how much they used to be for regular hard drives, too.
Uh-huh.
Just
here's
wait,
a-
man. Prices go down.
Here's a 512 gig Samsung Pro. These are the good ones. They last like 5 years or 10 years, I think it was. Let me double check that. But it's only. Well, this one says 213.
Yeah, I'm not willing to pay that much for hard drives still.
Yeah.
$80 is more than
Warranty.
reasonable for me.
Like I'll just
Yeah,
I'll
10
just
years. These things last. That Seagate drive you got, 1 year warranty. Guaranteed.
Probably.
And to be fair, you don't need to buy that one, because that's expensive.
Yeah.
The better ones obviously get more expensive. They're obviously faster as well, but they do last longer. The cheaper ones, 3 year warranty, and slower. See, here's a 960 Pro. That's the top of the line Samsung ones. They're fast. 300.
Hmm.
So
I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
I mean,
horrible, but it's not a
no.
good deal
yeah,
either.
I only need the hard drive for my laptop anyway, which
Mm,
I only use for like web browsing, so
yeah.
it's not that
This
crucial of a thing.
the Intel 512, they're really good. 180, but
Yeah.
they're not as
For me, I'd save the money and just learn how to handle data management better. Don't store a bunch of stuff.
5 years. Well, the best thing to make them last longer is to disable a few, like always scanning things, or always
Yeah.
there's little things that happen in the background. You disable those on the hard drive, and it lasts so much longer. My 1 year
Oh, so you got
Kingston
Windows 10.
SSD lasted 6 years.
I'm shocked how long my hard drive lasted me, the one I just replaced.
Yeah.
I was pushing like 10 years. I was pushing 10 years on that thing. Seriously.
Hmm. I think I'm getting
Sometimes you
close.
get lucky. Like sometimes they will last and last and
Like
last. Other
that hard
times,
drive was like my first. I used that for my first PC. It's crazy that it lasted
50
that long.
gigs of storage.
They don't make them like that anymore.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Unless it's expensive, then they do.
gotta pay.
Yeah.
Gotta pay.
You got to pay for the quality these days. And there's also the different types. That's the annoying thing. Like the Western Digital, you got the black, the reds, the blues,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
purple. The purple. That's the new one. I saw it and I'm like, what are you? Like we don't have enough. All the rainbow. Bring them out already. Give me a yellow drive. Stupid.
Orange, brown.
Well, I had a 4 terabyte red and a 2 terabyte black put into the new system. Then the normal ones, not the SSD ones, which I have a normal SSD for the C drive. And they called me up, and she says, the tech guy is curious on why you picked 2 terabyte for black and then 4 red. Why didn't you just get all black? I was like, one more expensive. And she goes, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Like, oh, I forgot money. That thing
Oh,
people
yeah.
live by.
Couldn't believe it.
That one irreplaceable substance.
And I said I want them separate. They both do different things. I want that for gaming. Black is faster than the red. The red is more for data stuff and, you know, living
Yeah.
longer.
Like, you don't need a high performance hard drive for like backups and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And it's faster than
So-
the green ones. Screw those.
Yeah. Like, I think the blues are those the lazy drives? Like, they use low,
Yeah, they're technically the green
Energy,
ones
but-
in a way.
they idle more, and they go to,
Yeah,
like, they're more ideal for backups.
they are idle.
Obviously, the blacks are performance.
They also
Red,
last less as well. Figure
Oh,
that one out.
I think it's on purpose.
I don't understand how it even works that way. It turns off so often, it should last longer.
Unless it's not programmed that way.
I had a green drive. Every time I needed it, it had to boot up, and I'd sit there for 5 seconds waiting.
Gosh, I hate that.
Yeah, waking the drive up, and
Yep.
you hear it too.
Yeah.
Alright.
And it would shut down every like 3 minutes or something. Couldn't believe it.
I was having problems with my hard drives earlier because we would use Plex, which is a media server that you can install on your computer, and it just, you can use like Roku and stuff with it.
Yeah.
Think of it as Netflix, but it's just for your own content. And after about like 40 minutes in, I would lose connection to the stream. It would just say like media playback lost. And I'm like, what's going on? It took me forever. I finally figured out that this motherboard had a setting on it that it would put drives to sleep if they weren't the primary drive after like 40 minutes as part of like its energy saving feature.
So how do you change that? Just change your power settings?
Yeah, I just went back. I
Performance?
found the ASUS software that was in control of that, and there it was. It's like put drives to sleep after 40 minutes. Like, no, put them to sleep never, and
Yeah.
then that solved that problem. But like things like that, If,
I need to find that because I have a hard drive that keeps going to sleep, and it takes forever to do anything. It's like, hey, save this, and it's like, finally it loads up. It's like, come on, because on my last PC, I used this hard drive to save all my footage to, and it's like it takes forever now to wake up. So it's like if I go to record something or take a screenshot, like 30 seconds later it'll be like screenshot saved or
Ugh.
recording started, and I'm like, why are you doing this? It's gotta be a
Yeah.
Windows 10 or my motherboard or something.
Some weird
check
stuff.
it out. I say that drive might be going to sleep.
Yeah, it's
It's-
gotta be.
Definitely going to sleep.
Better, it's just failing. It's a slow drive. But anyway, I
Nah.
don't know.
Unless it's got a pre-programmed thing in it where it turns off more often because it's failing and doesn't want to. But I don't. That only iPhones do that.
You see that? Speaking of iPhones, that rage people were having over Apple
They're
because
getting
they
sued
programmed.
for it, aren't they?
Oh,
Yeah, well,
they're
I mean, you get sued for everything anymore.
Mm.
Pretty
But
sure.
I mean, when you read about it, it's like, well, that doesn't seem like a bad idea.
It's
They
a
just want
it's a
they
very
just want to
good
extend
idea.
the battery life.
The stupid thing is not having the option to disable it. That's the dumb part.
Yeah, that's what gets people.
Because I'd have
And
no
that-
problem with that.
Fixing that would be no problem. Like I said, just program it to.
Well, that would piss me off for sure if my phone wasn't running the same as it ran when I got it, like worse.
Well, I mean,
Holy crap.
picture three options. Well, two, sorry. One, it runs until it dies, or two, it runs and then instead of dying, it clocks itself down so it lasts longer. Gives you time
I'd
to
rather it
replace
just
it.
die, honestly, because clocking down
I
is
don't
like
know.
frustrating as
I
frick.
think if you start to see it's having performance issues, then you start to get money ready to replace it. Where if it dies straight away, you're screwed.
Well, it's funny because like I just barely replaced my freaking Galaxy S4, and I didn't even need to.
Mm.
That thing ran like a champ. It ran everything. I didn't even need to replace that thing, and that thing's like 4 generations old.
Why'd
I
you
got an
replace
S8
it? Oh, okay.
because I wanted a bigger screen.
Yeah, that would be important.
The thing is, like Androids have that kind of feature for a long time, but they can be disabled. When I had my Zen phone, you could enable they called it like smart power setting,
Mm.
Right.
where on a full charge, the phone ran at full clock, if you would. And then if you got down to like 15%, it would start to underclock a bit, so it would extend that battery
Right.
life to be like an extra
See,
hour.
that's the thing. As long as the customization's there, that's fine. Just
Yeah.
give the options.
Yeah, but Apple hates that stuff. They don't
do.
want you
Yeah.
having those options.
I can sort of understand it because one, they want to keep it their own thing so no one screws with it, and it
Mhm.
also helps those people who are just shit with technology completely,
Yeah.
and they find it a bit easier to use. Still have trouble, but they got their handheld. There's a lot
Yeah.
of dumb things. I mean, I've got an iPhone. I'm not going to say I'm 100% happy with it, but I'm mostly happy, and that keeps me docile.
Yeah. I mean, you'll never find the perfect phone.
No, I look through so many Androids. Often. Like I told Jed this, but I recently bought one of my bosses a new phone, the Samsung A5, I think it was. It's a fairly recent-ish. It's good. It's powerful as long as you don't care about playing games. It can play games, but not really.
Yeah.
And he doesn't care about games. All it has is a very awesome screen. It's very fast for everything else, and the core quality and his voice quality as well is perfect. A lot of phones don't do this. You'd be amazed at how many phones you think are awesome actually have crap sound.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true.
And yes, I went through so many phones, and each
Speaking of
one
awesome screen, have you seen the Razer phone?
I've heard about
briefly.
144 hertz. It's just insane for a camera phone
Yeah,
or just a phone in general.
I don't think we need something like that on a screen that
And
small.
it's got like the speakers are ginormous. It takes up like a whole side. It's like I don't know who'd want that. It's just crazy.
Crazy people.
Hey, it makes Castle Crashers look real good.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, what phone game would run at 144 frames anyway? I guess
Better
you could
question.
watch like playback video of that would be interesting, but what
Oh,
video
what
plays at 144 frames?
what game would you ever want to play on your phone?
Yeah,
That's my question.
No, there's a lot
true.
of good games.
I know you defend it. But
It's
I
true,
hate
though.
phone games.
No, I'm sure there are some good ones out there, but every
Not
time I
some,
sit down to
plenty.
boot one up, I have to realize, crap, I gotta actually use the screen to
Yeah.
play this game, and now my interest is gone.
Well, it's no different to the DS in some games.
The longest I sat and played a
Some.
phone on my phone was Final Fantasy VI. I emulated it, and I was using my PS4 controller to play it.
Well, you get that little adapter thing that you can click your phone in and then click it to the
Yeah.
controller.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you could if you're serious about it, but then you take all the portability out of it.
Yeah.
So then, like, man, how am I just going to carry the phone in my hand? Because it won't fit in my pocket if I'm going to have a controller attached to it.
I mean, there's some games that when you go out, they're made specifically just for short periods. And like those Connect things, 3 colors in a row it explodes, or some other stuff, just simple, even little tactic RPG ones. As long as they're simple, you can play them for like a couple minutes while you're in line or somewhere waiting.
Yeah.
But when you get home, that's when you play, the hardcore type one. Then you can bring out your controllers or whatever. And I mean, some of the games that I played on them, I'm so happy I did, because, like I told you about that Chaos Rings one. Even though it did make it to the Vita, I think. I don't know if it made it to anything else, but it got to there. But it was out for years, and that game was unreal. So if I had ignored that and it never came out on the other things, I would have missed out big time. Because I love that game.
Yeah, that's a thing too with those phone games. If they're like really really good, they usually just come out on like Steam.
They do now, yeah, but back then they didn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, now it's a total different landscape.
So there's always room for improvement. Like I was playing Advanced Wars, just GBA games on my phone, and I have to pick games that I think would control decent well, which Advanced Wars will because it's turn-based.
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
don't
Turn-based
need to,
games are great for phones.
Oh, they're perfect.
But if it was real time, I'd be just frustrated out of my mind.
Yeah.
But then I also put a GBA emulator on my PSP,
Yeah.
and then I started playing Advanced Wars on that. Night and day difference.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You could just do everything so much faster, and it's like, this is why I will just never adapt to cell phone gaming well.
Well, I mean, I only play specific types of game on my phone. I'm not going to play every style on it, because that's dumb.
I saw a kid playing Minecraft on his, and I'm just like, oh, you
yeah,
poor
yeah,
child.
Yeah. My freaking nephew does that. It's like, what the frick, man?
Yep.
I'm watching. I mean, you're doing decent in the actual control portion, but man, kid, if only you knew.
There's a game that recently went on sale called Strike Team Hydra that I was interested in on the phone, or even on the tablet. Really, that'd be easy. It's a turn-based XCOM style, but I realized it just recently got on Steam, and they updated the graphics a little and changed the control a bit just to make it a bit more simple for keyboard and mouse. So yeah, I'm just gonna get it for Steam because
Yeah, it just
better.
seems like it's a lot easier for developers to port them over to Steam, because you see a lot of mobile games on Steam lately.
Yeah, a lot. Some good space ones too.
It's a pro and con. Pro and con. My problem with mobile games is, like, well, I told you guys about the Hitman Sniper.
Oh yeah, the
Started up and
microtransactions.
Yeah, $30 for
Yeah.
the gun. Like, you kidding me, right?
It's very
Like,
irritating.
not even reasonable. Not even attempting to be tantalizing in a purchase. No, just
Yeah, now we got that
$30.
crap leaking into our AAA games, which is just fantastic.
No, mind you, that stuff was always coming.
Ever since the Oblivion horse armor,
Fucking awesome.
that was the beginning of the end.
Yep. Once we saw that, tears.
thanks.
No, there's some games that aren't on, like the Fire Emblem Heroes. That's not on,
Yeah, that's true.
and that's very good. actually
Yeah, but
is
the
very good.
microtransactions in that one's really hard too.
Yeah,
You
I hear
can-
that is.
You can avoid them, and that's one game where you actually can avoid them, which is good. Otherwise, I would have not installed it. I look at those things.
I need to try it again. It looks real appealing because I liked Awakening a whole lot,
Awakening was
but
awesome.
I don't have a flagship phone, so games like that they take up a lot of storage space, and on top of that, they take up a lot of cell phone processing power if you want
Well,
to play them.
they are
Nice.
turn-based, so you'd be okay.
Yeah, but have you ever played turn-based even at 9 frames? You just don't get the full appreciative experience.
It's like a slideshow.
And then your screen's crappy, so the colors aren't great, and you're just like, man, I know I could do better, but I can't do better. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I'll try it again maybe at a different time. But I got a Moto E, and that phone's like $100.
Yeah, it will get. You'll have to play specific things, like Gardenscapes, for example.
Yeah, I just don't play anything on it. My life on that
Well,
phone.
you've got like a bajillion games on your DS now, anyway.
Yeah, like that's one of the appeals of the 3DS. Like, I got stuff that phone will never power.
They got a Tales of game as well on the phone recently. The Rays.
I heard, yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, so I grabbed that as well because I love that.
Speaking of
series.
Tales, I really want the new one. It's $20 right now on the Steam sale.
Berseria or something.
Berseria, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good price until you look at all the DLC and some of the stuff you'll want. Suddenly there's $80 gone. It's like, come on. It's the only reason I haven't got it.
I played the demo for that. It's a good game, and the characters are pretty likable and everything.
I want it. Like, I still got to play the first one, Zestiria.
Well, it's not like they're linked story-wise.
No, but it came out before.
A few of them are, but
and
yeah.
it's a good game. And
Yeah, I hear
already have it.
Hysteria is pretty good, yeah.
I need to finish that, so I can't justify buying the new one until I do that one. Most of the Tales games are good. There's some shit ones,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
I don't
some
know.
glorious.
I played Symphonia
Good.
because everyone at that time
like
was
it.
like, "That's the best Tales games
Well,
ever."
I mean, that's the cult classic one. Everyone
yeah.
claims that's
So that's the
best
one. That was my first one. Well, it was good. I guess my expectations were way higher. I'm like, it was good, but it was like really long, which isn't necessarily bad.
They were
But
back
then
then,
it was
though.
It was dull in places, and like the story was pretty predictable,
It was a classic Japanese
if not
RPG.
confusing at time. Yeah.
Made
Like I
long.
just didn't appreciate it.
I had fun. I
So-
finished it. I loved it, but it's not the best one. So-
I put like 30 hours into Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and it's just like it's really hard to stomach the JRPG-ness. Like in a younger age, it's easier to deal with, but now it's just like, oh my gosh, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I still love it, but it has
I mean,
to be
apart
good.
from the culture, if that's just your culture, that's fine. But it doesn't translate well in foreign.
But I understand. The thing is,
Mentality.
I understand the whole Japanese culture. I'm all about the Japanese culture, but there's just some tropes that I'm just like, good lord. Like the
Give me an
freaking
example.
breasts that are like bigger than their
Oh.
heads. It's just like
That's just
you
their,
could have halved her breast size and they'd still be huge.
yeah. It's just the
It-
way
it's
they
just-
style.
It's not. It's just distracting. Like she's there in a conversation. She's like, all I can see are your giant breasts right now, and I love boobs. Like I'm a boob man. I love boobs. But it's like, come on.
Well,
Is this a
I guess
is
you,
this a
need,
porno?
you have to
Come
ask
on.
yourself, why didn't it bother you before, but it does now?
Because they're like huge.
But they were huge back then
They're
too.
huge.
I think after a point,
They get too big. It's like
yeah, I
that's
think after
too
a
big.
point, it's not even like tasteful.
I don't know. There's people that have huge boobs.
I know,
Yeah,
but
they're obvious.
everybody does in that game, and it's like a Pokemon game almost. But you're collecting like who has like, ooh, it's boob bigger. Ooh, this one's got bigger boobs. Oh, these boobs are even bigger. It's like
Mhm.
Pokemon boobs edition.
It's like Valkyria Chronicles. Fantastic game. Love that game. But then you find out the sequel's on the PSP, right?
Mhm.
You're like, well, no big deal. And then you start seeing the screenshots. They do that same thing. Like, well, we're going to anime all the character designs. Like, well, they're already kind of anime. No big deal. But instead of doing 3D models in just an anime style, they just literally draw the characters, right? And that's how all the cutscenes are.
Mhm.
And so all the teachers have that same trope. You know, they have just those massive busts.
Mhm.
And then all the male characters have the same hairstyles, that classic anime hairstyles.
Yeah, and it's not even that bugs me. Like big boobs, whatever. I mean that is one of the issues. It's like, come on, but it's just like there's just little things that just keep adding up that bother me.
Yeah.
Like the side quests, like every side quest is talk to this person. They do like one of 3 reactions. Like, with you by my side, I can do anything. And it's like every side quest he'll say that to his partner. And it's like you can say other things. Like I played Witcher 3 that has like some of the best side quests in any video game ever, and then I go to this where they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, my dog, I lost it." He looks at his partner. With you by my side, I can do anything. It's like, are you freaking serious? You've said that already.
Well, technically he is correct because you keep doing everything for him.
He's like, if I can just feed this guy's compulsive nature to help me.
He will do everything for me.
Sucker.
I am interested in the story though. Like, so I think I'm gonna keep going. The combat's really good too.
I still have to play the 1st
I'm
one.
30 hours into this game, and I finally get like the last tutorial for combat. That's how completely crazy the combat is.
Jeez.
It's like 30 hours in. Hey, guess what? You can do this in the combat. It's like, are you serious?
Very cool.
Yeah, it's a really unique combat system. And the open world's really cool.
Hmm.
Very nice visually.
One day I'll play the 1st one.
The first one's way
Ooh.
better, don't get me wrong. Xenoblade freaking 1 on the Wii. Just emulate that on Dolphin. Get the HD textures. It is a great game.
It is my plan. Every year, I think I look up the the texture mod just to see if they've done anything more or whatever. It's like, has it perfect yet? Stare.
I mean, I was playing that on my old PC at great frame rate, no problem on
Yeah.
with HD textures. Ran great.
Well, I should be
I just wish
okay.
that stuff would just come out on PC and just be done.
Yeah,
Then we
just
have
ask
it forever.
Nintendo.
Well, at least most of the things seem to be coming out now. Steam is basically Japan 2.0.
It really is at this rate.
I love it.
Well, you won't see stuff like Bayonetta, unfortunately. Anything Nintendo publishes.
Bayonetta is on PC. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the second and third.
Okay,
No,
the
they'll
second one's
come.
been. I mean, no, you won't because
No.
Nintendo's published those.
Yeah. Like I said, anything
Like those
they
games
publish,
wouldn't exist without Nintendo, so I don't
Exactly.
think you'll see them.
I thought we
On our
had
system.
something recently on Steam that Nintendo published.
We got Bayonetta, but Nintendo didn't publish. No, we haven't seen anything Nintendo published on Steam.
What?
Keep whispering to her. Yeah, keep whispering really quietly.
Sorry, she said your mom's on the phone for me, and I was like, oh, well, I'll talk to her later.
Your mom's on the phone at like 3 in the morning. What?
Tell her to
No,
go
your
to
mom.
sleep. She's having a dream.
What was I gonna say? No,
We've had a lot of Clover games. We had Okami, we had Vanquish, and Bayonetta, which were like Clover games.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Yeah, I
is
don't
really
know what
awesome.
anything on PC. Now, Nintendo's been doing cell phone, but they've been like really terrible. Mario Run and Animal Crossing,
Yeah.
and like Amiibo Play or something, or
But they're branching.
Wii Plaza. Yeah, but it's a very slow, very slow.
Very.
I'd change my tune if it were like putting their Game Boy Advance games or something on cell
Oh,
phones.
I would like bet like thousands of dollars Nintendo would never put anything on PC. Unless
not-
they made their own PC like system. You're not seeing it.
With like super hard DRM and everything.
To be fair, they
Yeah.
don't need to, considering they're like the top earning console maker out there.
Yeah,
at
they
the
they
moment.
don't. Yeah, it's true.
They're
They
number
don't need
one
to.
in Japan. The number one company, I think, in Japan of every company.
Pretty sure they've been number one here for a few months.
They're like the
Go on.
richest company in Japan.
But yeah, and like I said, I mean, Nintendo games are kind of easy to emulate. Like,
Mhm.
I don't have any issues emulating Wii games, Wii U games. I play through freaking Wii U games, like crying out loud. And I bet the Switch will be emulated sooner than later.
Definitely. It's just
Well,
which, Wii U hardware with a few
Yeah.
extras. It actually is. They pulled it apart.
Yeah.
But
Hey, Judge, you whisper into her some more?
No, I'm still here just
All right.
listening.
he's evolved to dirty talk now, and he's trying to
That's
hide
what it
it.
sounded like.
Lip syncing.
I'll be to bed soon. All right, guys. Thanks very much for listening in. If you've tuned in to the very end, then what the heck's wrong with you? As usual, we'll thank all the patrons, and thank you very much to all the patrons that have stuck with us still to this day. Very appreciated, and thank you to the new and old. Just thank you very much. And here's the names. Get ready for me to read them. Okay.
Paw.
We've got Powder Keg, Joshua Gomez, Crazy Chaos, Ole Marcus Nostrand, Christopher Mui, Jeffrey Pearl, Chris Townshend, Miguel Lindy, Israel Sota Diaz, Metal Matthias, Wiki Cheese Curd, great name. I never felt like Zachary Morehouse, Chris Floyd, Colin and Maggie, Matthew A. Keith, Michael Johnson, Christopher Cernas, Majin Mayday, Alex C. Klevgard, Tsukutashi, Chris Somerville, Simon Kajar Degnobelig, I believe that was the Russian fellow, Samantha Lawley, Remick Zero, Ethan J. Soto, Mark Johnston, Alexander Bulau Thomason, John DeWitt, Kevin Haynes, Leroy Saber, Fulp Parker, Jesse Frank Singh, Cyber Wavemaker, Matthew Groves, and Adrian Klug. Thank you all for being our lovely patrons.
Thank you.
Appreciate that a lot.
It's amazing.
Amazing.
It is
It's
more
a,
than
it's a
amazing.
Christmas miracle.
It certainly is for us.
It's like, oh, it's when I go wake up and that's what's in my stocking. I'm like, hallelujah.
And now I fully expect tomorrow Congo. Oh, hey, by the way, I wasn't recording last night.
Like the recording, something happened.
All right. See you guys later.
Thank you. Thank you.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm talking to you guys as well.
Oh.
I'm leaving. Bye.
Bye.
This was a ooh.
Stay it.
Goodbye.
See ya.